This is a win in the cup race.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun.
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's showtime.
And welcome into the Friday edition of Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode, Nick Keyser, Ladarius Robinson here with you on this Friday morning. Hope everybody is doing well. We are live out in Lebanon, Tennessee at the grand opening of the new Dunkin' out here off Highway 109, the new next-gen location. Pumpkin is in. Sign up for rewards and receive $5 gift cards and fun Dunkin' giveaways while supplies last. We're going to be out here all morning long out here in Lebanon. 350 Highway 109 North is the address. So it's the grand opening of the new Dunkin' location today. Joe and I will be out here. Junie Riddle is out here today. It's a party out here at Dunkin' here in Lebanon. Joe Rexrode, good morning. How are you?
It is. It is a party. I'm doing okay. I was a little concerned about my ability to do the show earlier. For listeners who listened last week, I thought for about the 6 o'clock hour that I might have poisoned my family with some chicken that I cooked because it was like the sell-by date, but I cooked it.
Yes.
And I felt really bad when I came into the show. And so yesterday I cooked ground beef and made nachos, and it was a day after the sell-by date. I think maybe I should stop doing stuff with food that's right on the borderline.
Just maybe get it before the sell-by date.
Yeah, but you're supposed to be fine like a day after, right? A day or two after.
I think.
Yeah. So
and here you are powering through, so that's good.
I think it's getting better, so I think it's okay. But I still probably gonna need to text into the homestead and be like, "Is everybody okay?"
Yeah, wellness check.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing this morning?
I mean, the nachos were good at the time.
That's good. Nick Keyser, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. That Dunkin' is really close to home for me, so I hope you enjoy your stay and get a good breakfast sandwich on your way out the door.
Oh, that's going
Can we
to
do
happen.
it now?
We may do it.
Why do we have to do it before
probably
you leave
well
the door?
Before we're out the door would probably be the guess of how that's going to go down. We got a lot to get to on the program here today. Obviously, a lot of Titans to get to. They're back in Minnesota tomorrow for the preseason, second preseason game. And then we'll see what the quarterback situation looks like. We'll get into that a little bit later this hour. Teron Davenport will join us at 8 o'clock. Paul Koharski at 8:30. Both those guys have been up in Minnesota for the joint practices between the Titans and the Vikings. So we'll get their thoughts on what they've seen to this point. Ben Wright from Broadway Sports will join us at 7:30. We'll look ahead to the big matchup in the League's Cup final tomorrow coming up between Nashville SC and Inter Miami. Lionel Messi coming to town. We talked about the ticket prices yesterday. Lots of excitement for that one, so we'll get into that coming up at 7:30 with Ben Wright as well. So looking forward to that. We begin today with some thoughts from Mike Vrabel yesterday on the status of Treylon Burks. We spent a lot of yesterday's show discussing Treylon Burks and the LCL sprain that he sustained, according to Ian Rappaport. Obviously, based on what we thought it could have been, maybe the best-case scenario for Treylon Burks at that point. But here's what Titans head coach Mike Vrabel had to say yesterday at joint practices up in Minnesota.
Any update on Treylon Burks?
No, I mean, I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. There's no structural damage, and anticipating him, being back. Again, I'm not putting a timeline on it, but I think that it was a best-case scenario.
So that was Vrabel yesterday at the conclusion of Titans-Vikings practice with an update on Treylon Burks there, saying no structural damage from Treylon Burks, and used the phrase best-case scenario there. What'd you make of what Mike Vrabel had to say on Treylon Burks' injury yesterday,
See,
Joe?
you can read my mind. That's the term. So this is my question. Is this Vrabel kind of be like in his mind, best-case scenario because it's not devastating?
Right.
Or is he saying best-case scenario? If it's best-case scenario, then he might play against the Patriots. Not that he'd actually play in that game anyway, but you know what I mean? Like it's a couple weeks. So that's the interesting thing about that. I mean, sometimes I think Vrabel chooses his words carefully, But that's also it just depends. I mean, I could see both of those things being true. Just basically like, yeah, it's not terrible, it's not disastrous, so it's best case scenario. Right. Or he's saying, yeah, like basically this is as mild as of a sprain as you could have. And I think there is a difference for the Titans. If you're gonna, because remember, there's a huge gap between the end of the preseason games and the beginning of the season. I mean, if you were able to get Traylon Burks back on the practice field, like, after the Patriots game, then you're fine, like, for the opener. You got plenty of time to ramp up and things like that. That's best case scenario if you want to be technical about it. So the problem with this is that Vrabel absolutely will not ever give a timeline, and he said that going back to his first year. Actually, I think it was like it was such a change from Malarkey. And at one point, I just asked him, like, why don't you ever say anything about this? Because as a player, like, I never wanted any coach to ever give my timeline.
Right.
Like, okay, so then I'm hurt another week, and now the fans are all mad at me, or I'm weak, or I'm like, yeah, okay, I get you. I mean, he thinks about all these things through the lens of the player. So, he won't.
That's really interesting. I guess I didn't think about it that way, but now that you have laid it out there, I mean, hopefully that's the case. If you're a Titans fan listening to what he had to say there, I mean, when he said best case scenario yesterday, I kind of thought of, in relation to what it could have been of an ACL or a torn meniscus, as we were talking about with Charles Robinson yesterday. But maybe it is something where it's just a mild sprain, and obviously they're going to be careful with him. I don't think Traylon Burks was ever going to play in this game coming up on Saturday. Probably wasn't going to play the week after that. I mean, the preseason, Vrabel, when you're a clear starter, very rarely are guys playing at that point. So I didn't really expect to see Traylon Burks in the preseason. But if he's back on the practice field here in the next week or two, that's great news for the Titans. If he's ready to go by week 1, based on what we saw after that video the other day, that's a huge win for the Titans in my book.
Oh, massive, massive. So, but, let's say it's more best case scenario because it's not terrible, but it's it's 4 to 6 weeks.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's a different deal for sure. That means you're missing a game or two, right? And those are huge games. So I mean, look, I like their chances a lot better against New Orleans and against. I always want to still call them San Diego. I got to stop that. When is that going to stop?
San Diego Superchargers.
When is that going to stop?
Dan Fouts on the mind.
I know that must be it, but. Both those games, you got a lot better chance. Any game, I guess, if you have Traylon Burks.
Well, and with how tight we think this thing could be this year in the division, with the Titans and the Jags, one game could be the difference. I mean, one game was the difference last year, right? It comes down to the last game of the regular season. So, you can brush it off as maybe it's not a huge deal if Traylon Burks misses week 1 or misses week 1 and 2. But at the end of the day, I mean, that could end up being the difference in the regular season when it all boils down to it.
Yeah, I mean, like we've talked about those first 6 games a lot. I mean, 1-5 is not some stretch. 3-3 to me would be really good position. Anything better than that, I mean, man, start the parade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those are toss-up games. There are other games on the schedule. There's other games on the schedule right now that look a certain way, and they'll be tougher or easier than we think, or whatever. That happens. But the first 6 it's not great for the Titans the way the schedule is front-loaded. But that's why something like this is so important.
It's very important, and now that the rest of the preseason, keeping DeAndre Hopkins healthy and Derrick Henry healthy, and the offensive weapons that you do have paramount for the Titans, because you don't want to see anybody get hurt at any time. But let's say Traylon Burks is out week 1, week 2. I mean, you got to have your other offensive weapons healthy at that point. So, I'm really interested to see, how quickly can Traylon Burks get back out there. And really for me, more than anything, he might be the most intriguing guy on the team to me this year. Just thinking about where he was last year, the progress that it looks like he's made heading into this year, seeing what that actually translates to on the field and what his production looks like. I say that. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins is really intriguing to me, obviously. There's a lot of players on the defensive side of the ball that are going to be really intriguing. But Traylon Burks is right up there to me with any other Titan you want to name in terms of the intrigue of this season and how much fun this team's going to be to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I'd put him right there with, like, Andre Dillard. The defensive guys are mostly known commodities.
Yep.
Tannehill, Henry, known commodity. Even Hopkins, I mean, I think it comes down to, like, is he available? If he is, he's going to be good. But Burks is intriguing, like, in the wow, how good could he be way, whereas Andre Dillard is intriguing in the is this guy good way. But I mean, if both of those things, maybe isolating Dillard is a little bit too simplistic, but that is the most important position for a right-handed quarterback. Those two guys stand out to me for sure. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think at some point you believe what you see over and over and over again, and so I've kind of come around to, I mean, he's going to be a productive player and a problem for defenses as long as he's out there playing like this, playing like he does every day in practice.
Yeah, and if you can keep that going in the regular season, I mean, it's going to be a really fun player to watch this year for the Titans. So we'll see what the status of Traylon Burks looks like as the Titans go through these next few weeks here in the preseason. By the way, I got a texter on the text line from joint practices yesterday. Did you see the video of Tier Tart just ragdolling that guy from Minnesota?
I didn't see that.
I'll find it. It was unbelievable. Tier Tart, we don't talk about him a lot, but guy's a good player.
He's been a little banged up. I will say that, some Vrabel comments recently about his conditioning are a little bit like, interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of like, if he's conditioned, then it's good. But
he looked conditioned when he was throwing somebody to the ground yesterday.
And thank you, Wes in Clarksville, who says the sell-by date doesn't mean much on meat. Depends on how the meat looks. Dude, I'm not just going to, take off the date and just go with your instincts.
Yeah. Looks good. just roll with it.
That's fine.
We're live out at Dunkin' in Lebanon today. Josh in Cookville on the text line says the maple sugar bacon croissant, unmatched at Dunkin' for breakfast.
I have not had that one.
Gotten it so many times. Their avocado toast is also great.
I've had that.
Josh in Cookville on the text line.
I've had that, but maple sugar bacon croissant?
Sounds pretty good.
I mean, my stomach is – I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
We got a lot to get to on the Titans front today. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. You can weigh in on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We'll take your thoughts on that all show long here today on Robby and Rexrode. We'll continue the conversation on the Titans coming up next, including maybe some injury news at the quarterback position. We'll get into that and more. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Tonight, your Nashville Sounds continue their 6-game series at First Horizon Park against Charlotte. He gloves, grabs, guns, gets them, and the Sounds win again. Pre-game at 6:20.
Nashville Sounds baseball on 94.9 The Fan and the Fan app.
33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Electronic Express. These deals are so hot they only last 33 hours. Get a TCL 55-inch 4K TV only $269, or an Avanti laundry pair just $379 each. Save up to 50% on 4K TVs, computers, Bluetooth speakers, appliances, and more. Don't miss out on an Avanti top freezer refrigerator only $499, or a Lenovo laptop for only $349. 33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
This summer, they are coming back.
You know where you are?
For you.
You're in the jungle, baby.
Guns N' Roses, live. North America 2023. Saturday, August 26th, Geodis Park. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Finally, back in North America. Don't miss Guns N' Roses.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
We try to stay cool by being on social media.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game and on Instagram at 1025 The Game Nashville.
Hey!
Oh, yeah, and like us on Facebook, too. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode.
It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
If Will isn't able to go Saturday, is Ryan maybe going to get some work, or will it be Malik the whole way?
We'll let you guys know on Saturday.
That was Mike Vrabel yesterday at Titans-Vikings joint practice. Hey, Coach, if Will's not able to go on Saturday, will Tannehill get some time? Yeah, we'll let you know Saturday.
Yeah. We'll let you know after you see what happens, and then I'll confirm that for you. We can talk about that. Or I don't know, is Vrabel choosing the pregame press conference?
Well, maybe so.
So, okay, I'm going to do the pregame, guys. Let's talk about what may or may not happen. All right.
He did go.
Enjoy the game.
It was post-practice yesterday, so that was good.
Yeah.
A little change of pace from the day before.
Appreciate that.
It's good stuff. Will Levis leaving practice early yesterday for the Titans with a lower body injury is the term that's been floated out there. I think Paul Kaharski had that. TD put that out there.
Hockey wannabe PK out there. Well, lower body is what I would say. Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
So a lower body injury for Will Levis that he's currently dealing with, and his status for the preseason game tomorrow is to be determined. So what do you make of that? And how that affects the quarterback competition in the backup spot between Will Levis and Malik Willis. And if Will Levis can't go tomorrow in the preseason game, are we just going to see a full game of Malik Willis? What are we doing if we're the Titans at that point?
Well, then what if he tweaks his ankle?
I guess.
I mean,
put Kevin Byard in at quarterback?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, either you sign someone. I mean, that's the thing. Well, I mean, I'm taking Tannehill out. They're not playing Tannehill. There's not playing Tannehill. And I guess you could go into it with the idea of, okay, Malik, it's your game. Ryan, if something happens to Malik, then we'll call 18 straight handoffs and go home.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could do that. But, I mean, I don't know. I guess it kind of seems to me like if they sign someone today just to be a practice quarterback, but I mean, how would that person even be able to come in and operate anything?
Hey, how would you know what you were doing?
Yeah,
out there. I know you got here 12 hours ago. Here's the offense.
Unless there's somebody who was down the depth chart with Tim Kelly in Houston or something.
Well,
I have
Mike
no idea.
Herndon put it out there yesterday. Like if they were going to sign someone, there's Carson Wentz is available. Matt Ryan is kind of sort of retired, not really retired, all those things. Mike Herndon put it out there yesterday, A.J. McCarron. A.J. McCarron was with Tim Kelly in Houston, and he played in I can't remember which league he played in, XFL, I think was what he played in this year.
Yeah,
so
that sounds right.
Go get A.J. McCarron.
Sure.
The XFL.
Yeah.
Saban would probably like to be able to bring him back.
Yeah, probably so.
I mean, because as far as, to me, I mean, look, obviously, ideally, you do the same plan. You got Levis and Willis, and you go forward. It's not a big deal to give Malik Willis the whole game. Great. Play the whole game, I don't think that's – I mean, it's just circumstance, and he can handle it, and fine. But, yeah, you do have to have a contingency if something were to happen to him. So it's either probably Tannehill handing off or, who is the emergency QB? I mean, everybody needs that. I'd love to see some emergency. Because that's the thing, you're not going to put Byard actually. Byard's got a nice little lefty. He can wing it around lefty. We've seen that before. I wonder who that might be.
NWI.
Probably NWI knows all the positions. Yeah, that's a good call right there. NWI. Tier Tart. After watching what Tier Tart did to that dude, show me that video. Just put him at QB and just let him run some sneaks.
Obviously, this is pure. I don't even know if speculation is the right word. It's just a worry that I had yesterday. When you hear lower body injury, we'll wait and see what the specifics are with Will Levis. But I did think about, is he having foot problems? After the draft, everybody talked about the foot injury that he was dealing with and all those things. So the first thing that came to mind yesterday when I saw lower body was, has he retweaked the foot problems that he was having in the draft? I have no basis of reality on that. It's just the first thought I had when I saw the lower body stuff yesterday.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Whenever there's a pre-existing injury, your mind goes there. It's like with Burks with, same knee a few years ago. So that would be, that'd be tough. I mean, by all accounts, that was all healed up and he was past that. So, it really could. I mean, he walked in, so, right. I mean, sometimes it really is just twisted the ankle a little bit. Let's ice it for a couple days, and you're fine. You know, I mean, I think if there's nothing on the waiver wire today, then I'm guessing it's probably that. I mean, it's a very different scene than like Burks going on the cart and everybody all emotional. I mean, people, from what I understand, when I was listening to Jared TD yesterday, I mean, you know, people didn't even really see him go in. You know, it was just kind of right at the end there.
Well, hopefully he's okay to play, because I'd love to see, you know, the preseason to me is largely about those two guys, Malik Willis and Will Levis, getting some reps, getting playing time. You know, the more I think about it, and I know we've heard from some people this week, and I've seen people on Twitter kind of talking about how they didn't love the way that the Titans did things on Saturday, kind of alternating series. The more I think about it, the more I kind of like it, the way they did it that way, and I would imagine that's probably the way, if both guys are healthy, they're going to continue to do things as they move forward. I hope he's okay and able to play tomorrow, because I think these reps are going to be valuable for him in the preseason. You know, ideally, Ryan Tannehill's healthy the whole year, and he plays every snap at quarterback, and then, you know, Malik Willis and Will Levis aren't getting those reps as the season goes on. So game-like reps for Will Levis, I think, are really important right now, and hopefully he's able to go tomorrow in Minnesota. I think it would be disappointing if not, obviously for him, but, you know, I think for Titans fans as well, because to me, that's a large part of why I'm actually invested in these preseason games is the quarterback stuff.
Oh, big time. And and look, I mean, Malik Willis' improvement, it's been good to see. It's been fun to watch, and if he gets a whole game, it's a great opportunity for him, and it's still interesting. But yeah, it's about both of these guys, the competition, and obviously when you have a highly drafted rookie like this, you want to see that week-to-week change and how he adjusts to things and improves. So the interest level in the game goes down a couple ticks if he can't go, and you're already competing with Messi.
No, there is that. If he can't go, what kind of an opportunity in your mind is this for Malik Willis in terms of winning the backup spot? Because, you know, at the end of the day, you know, Will Levis is going to make the team. We know that. I think the Titans are keeping three quarterbacks regardless based on the information that we have to this point. But if Levis can't go tomorrow and Malik Willis gets the whole game, how big of an opportunity is that for him to get the edge in the backup quarterback spot?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. I mean, it's obviously very different. Now you're not putting them in the, you know, in the spots they like to put them in with, okay, now it's your series, right. You know. So there's like this total comfort level, which I would assume that would help a player. You know, I mean, I guess you could look at it like it's more pressure, but I mean, to me, it's like you know exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get every single snap, and so you got to look at it like an opportunity. Does it really, like it's still? I mean, if he's playing against 2s and 3s the whole game or whatever, because I think Kevin O'Connell sounds like he's a very much a not play anybody who matters guy.
I don't think you're going to see Justin Jefferson out there tomorrow,
right? Or Daniil Hunter or any of these guys. So you know, I mean, there's still a limitation to like what it means, but hey, the more snaps you can get in a game-like setting. And if you can string together good series, you know, that has to mean something. I mean, I thought, you know, obviously he missed Mason Kinsey on that crosser.
Yep.
And that's a throw he wanted back, of course. But that series when they're trying to come back, I thought he had a couple of his best throws. You know, so that was like chemo in the game. I mean, it's a preseason game, but you know, you're trying to win. I mean, you know, it's not just a game-like situation. It is a game. And I thought he had a couple of his best throws in that scenario. So, you know, if he can play well and lead him to a win, it's not meaningless.
Let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Weston from Smyrna. Weston, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Good morning, Robbie, and congratulations on being a father and everything.
Hey, thanks, man.
You're welcome. Real quick, I had two things for us. One, the QB battle with Malik Willis and Will Levis going into this week. I was kind of looking forward to see how both of those guys played. I think for Malik, this actually gives him even more confidence, knowing that he doesn't have that added pressure of having to compete with somebody. I think he can go in, focus on what he needs to do, and continue to show people, hey, this is the work I put in during the offseason. For Levis, I think it's going to be kind of I think he's going to be QB3 if he doesn't get to go Saturday. Depending on the next preseason game. Other quick flip side of this is the injury bug. We've now had 2 lower body injuries in camp this week, and it's my question of how long do we let this training staff that was with us last year and everything still continue, or does Carthon go ahead and make some changes before the season starts?
Yep, thanks for the call, Weston. Appreciate it. I mean, Joe, we've talked a lot about the training staff part of this.
Do I have to put my hand in my head in my hands right now?
Well, you might. Look, I don't know how you watched the Traylon Burks thing on 2 days ago, and the training staff comes to mind. It's just a wrong plant is what it is. Having said that, if the injuries continue to be a problem, and this is 3 years in a row where the Titans are just dealing with injuries left and right, I understand the thought process from the fans that's going to continue to come up.
Sure. I understand the thought process. Obviously, they've changed some things this year with the two on, more people, like fewer people getting like the random days off, two on, and then the walk-through day. So they've changed that. So they've looked at it. There's no doubt. And the type of injury is really important in that discussion. You got somebody who blows their knee out or twists an ankle because they plant weird. Again, this is one of those things where, you need to then follow other football teams because every single team out there has scads of injuries. Now, the Titans the last 2 years in the regular season have been record breakers, so I get it. If it's a lot of soft tissue stuff that has something to do with preparation and, again, even with Vrabel calling out Fulton and Long, still like that, it's like, okay, but you guys still in the building have to, figure that out, right?
Right.
You got to figure out a plan for people, treatment, whatever, all that stuff. But stuff like this, a guy goes up in football and twists his knee or twists his ankle or takes a hit to the head and gets a concussion, how in the heck could that be on the training staff?
Right. I mean, I think it's a case-by-case basis. And, again, if you're going through a season – like the hamstring thing, right? The hamstring virus a couple years ago where everybody had hamstring injuries left and right.
Yep.
Might be fair to look at the training staff at that point. Yeah. When you have different injuries, especially ones like the – and, look, I don't know what Levis's is, so we'll wait and see if we ever find out what was going on with Will Levis. But, the Traylon Burks thing doesn't have anything to do with the training staff in my mind. 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. We'll continue the discussion on the Titans. More takeaways from Titans and Vikings joint practice day 2 yesterday, including one player in particular that was pretty impressive yesterday by most reports. We'll get into that coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Here we go, in and out of the huddle.
Training camp is underway in the Music City.
We want to try to make sure that we're developing a team.
And we have you covered.
Could Peter Skoronsky be an option at tackle?
How quickly can DeAndre Hopkins get going? We'll be broadcasting live from training camp with the latest news and storylines from practice.
Ryan Tannehill in the last year of a contract. It's a different team. It's a different roster.
Training camp coverage is brought to you by the Simmons Bank Open, Caudill Vet Clinic, and Parman Energy on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Your home reflects you, your style, your choices. That's why purchasing a home is not just financially significant, it's personal too. At F&M Mortgage, we understand clients need a loan that's just as personal, one that fits you with service from a local lender who lives right here. Yes, we offer competitive rates and low closing costs, but we also know home financing should be more than just numbers. Come see us at one of our branches or online at myfmbank.com. F&M Bank, banking made easy on purpose. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
We're talking values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds, all hand-picked for maximum brilliance and all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry store owners and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiance, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts.
And now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity. Limit one per customer, please.
Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
See store for details.
Arthritis and rheumatic conditions are leading causes of disabilities among adults. Joint replacement could be the solution. The team at Houston Clinic Orthopedics approaches each case with a complete evaluation to see if surgery is right for you. Houston Clinic Orthopedics specializes in arthritis, hip, knee, and shoulder replacements, hip fractures, osteoarthritis of the hip, and joint pain. To experience world-class orthopedic care and see a list of all physicians, visit their website at tn.houston.com and book your appointment online today.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
Our fleet vehicle program is a great benefit to all the fleet companies in Nashville. We are able to get their vehicle back on the road a lot quicker than the downtime of most dealers and most general repair shops, simply because we have the transmissions available. We're able to put priority on their vehicles to get them back on the road quickly.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
They're homegrown in Nashville, discussing the biggest topics in the SEC.
The fans are going to want the rivalries to stick around. They've lost to Alabama every year.
The NFL.
What if all the top 3 quarterbacks went 1, 2, 3? You've got to draft your guy at 2.
And anything in between.
From thinking we know everything to then forgetting about everything we thought we knew the day before.
They're Jonathan Hutton and Chad Withrow on Outkick's Hot Mic.
Out of the gates, ready to go.
Weekdays from 2 to 5 on 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Hey, this is Pete Weber. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
The first 2 days, you feel like you accomplished everything you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we did. I think we came out. We got good third down work. We got good red zone work, good situational work. Really like the pace in which they practice and they move. I thought it moved along. We got a lot of reps in there, so a lot to teach from.
That was Mike Vrabel yesterday at Titans joint practices with the Minnesota Vikings. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty, helping home buyers and sellers in Middle Tennessee for 20 years. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook, live from our 102.5 The Game studios. Nick Keyser back at our 102.5 The Game studios, brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Joe and I out here off Highway 109 in Lebanon for the grand opening of the Duncan location out here. We'll be out here all morning long from 6 to 9 a.m., 350 Highway 109 North. Come on out. I'm staring right now, Joe, at some brand new cornhole boards from Duncan, and they're available to you all. The first person to come into the location out here and say, I'm pumped for pumpkin, will win these cornhole boards. And I'm looking at them right now. It gets me in the tailgating mood. Football right around the corner. We got some nice cornhole boards out here. So come into the location, 350 Highway 109 North. Say, I'm pumped for pumpkin. And the first person to do that is going to win these cornhole boards.
Now, what I don't know is who you need to say it to. I would say just come in here and scream it to the heavens.
Scream it to the heavens.
Make sure that everybody in this location hears you. Say it, and you'll get the cornhole boards.
You'll come in here and say it.
Don't whisper it.
If you're the first person to do it, you're going to win these cornhole boards. So we're looking forward to that. Out here in Lebanon for the grand opening of the Next Gen Duncan location. Pumpkin is in. Sign up for rewards and receive $5 gift cards and fun Duncan giveaways while supplies last. Joe, one player that stood out yesterday, according to most reports, and really the last couple of days, had a nice highlight reel interception yesterday of Kirk Cousins, was Christian Fulton. And we've talked a lot about Christian Fulton this offseason and the contract year that he's in, the decision that the Titans have coming up on Christian Fulton and what to do with his future. But apparently a nice couple of days in the joint practices for Christian Fulton, going up against Justin Jefferson and that Vikings passing attack. And if you missed it yesterday, go check it out. You can find it on social media. One-handed highlight reel interception from Christian Fulton yesterday. Looked pretty good out there.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think he's been really good all camp. Really, I mean, he's lost some battles because he's been going against two guys who are going to make plays this year, Traylon Burks and DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, he's won some, he's lost some, but able to go against obviously one of the best receivers in the NFL and some other guys. I mean, they have good receivers. On that Vikings team. So, Fulton, one of the headliners, but just overall, just really strong defensive performance from what I think could be a really special defense.
Yeah, I mean, if Fulton is on the field and healthy this year and takes a step forward as a player, because I already think he's a pretty good player. If he takes a step forward as a player, like if you're the Titans, I think you've really got to think about bringing him back. Honestly, like my thought process, and this is just me, on Fulton heading into the year was that he's probably going to play this year, and that's probably going to be it, and the Titans are going to move on. He's just been hurt too much, and the Titans don't need to commit to that moving forward. And I don't know that my position on that has changed as of yet. But let's say he gets through the season and he plays in all 17 games, or he plays in 15 or 16 of the 17 games this year, and he's really good, and he's a legitimate number one corner in the league this year. Maybe not an elite guy, but a legitimate number one corner in the league. Well, those guys don't grow on trees. You just let him walk out the door at that point if you're the Titans. Like, to me, his contract situation is a really intriguing part of this season beyond the on-the-field results of what this Titans team is going to be, because cornerback is a premium position. They've drafted and invested heavily in that position over the last few years. Some have worked out, some have not worked out to this point. I'm really interested to see how they view him if he's able to stay healthy and look the way that he's looked so far during the preseason.
Yeah, it's a really interesting question because there's a certain level of churn that you have to do in the NFL, and you can keep drafting and go younger, but really you got McCreary, and Molden is kind of the same spot, or he's a safety, so you take him. Molden's not going to play outside corner unless they're really desperate, and that's just not what he's going to be in this league. So, you have Murphy Bunny, another veteran now who you brought in, who's had a nice camp too. But what's your future at that incredibly important spot? I get the case. First of all, I totally get what they've done so far. I would have done the exact same thing. I don't think it's a mistake at all. So, it'll probably, if he does do what you said, if there are a few games in the season, he's playing great, and he says, see, you got it. No. Yeah. I mean, 30 of 50 games. 30 of 50 games is not enough, man. It's just too much uncertainty with that. And clearly, based on Mike Vrabel's comments at the end of last season, they do look at him and say, like, you could have done more. You could have been more like KB, right, who does everything possible to stay healthy. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I could see a scenario where it's looking good, and it's like he's figured out a routine, and the added strength makes a huge difference, and they want him in the building, and maybe there's some talk during the season. You're allowed to do that. So, I mean, some people don't like that distraction or whatever, but, I mean, that's the other thing, too, is, like, what does he think? I mean, is he totally getting, like, why he hasn't had this extension offered to him? Or is it because sometimes players are like, okay, well, then believe me, you'll be sorry next year when I'm playing for the Vikings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the flip side of that also is, let's say either the Titans choose to let him go, or he decides at the end of the year that he wants an opportunity elsewhere. Well, then, with draft picks that are already limited, and with positions that we think they're already going to need in the draft next year, be that on the offensive line, be that at wide receiver. I mean, now you're adding another corner to the list, right? I mean, you've got Roger McCreary. Unless something dramatically changes, the Caleb Farley draft pick has not worked out for the Titans. So now you're adding cornerback back to your draft needs, or at least your free agent needs, one of the two, if Christian Fulton leaves this next season.
Right. And look, if you're on the Fulton side of things, if you are having that kind of year and you're staying healthy and you figure out everything, and the Titans come to you, it may not be like being mad at the Titans for the lack of an offer in the offseason. It may be like, I just want to see what the open market says. Yeah. And maybe, that also doesn't mean for sure you couldn't possibly get him back. But, it's not – like you said, they still are in this position of, I think, especially on the offensive side of the ball, having to replenish. And, these guys getting older on defense. So you don't want to have to keep drafting. It's like corners and offensive linemen. They are just, they're just on a rampage of, trying to find the right guys. It'd be great for them if it worked out because, look, I mean, the cap's going up. They have a lot of space next year. Like, it's not like Christian Fulton is going to be one of those guys right at the line there. So I think that's probably the best-case scenario is that they lock him up. He's that good. He's figured it out. He's healthy. They lock him up. But, usually when you get to this point, that becomes a little bit less likely.
How has Sean Murphy Bunting looked in training camp at this point to your eye out there?
Good. I think he's a better. They've kind of had a carousel over there, right? And I guess they've really had it all over the place because people are getting hurt. But I think he's better than some of the veterans that they've brought in recently over there. I think he's, Malcolm Butler had a good run.
He's better than Jonathan Joseph? That's good.
He's a little bit better, just slightly better than J. Joe. Janoris, I think he's a little better than Janoris.
Jack Rabbit.
Yeah, I mean, who was fine, who gave him some decent. I think Murphy Bunting is a step up from that. So, it's like even just matchup wise, I think they can do some things with these two guys. That just works out in a given week. And obviously they usually play just sides, and they're in a variety of different coverages. I think Vrabel had talked recently about him and how he's in cover 3, he can do press man because they do a lot of cover 3. But I mean, he's a versatile corner that they don't feel like, oh, this is a man corner that So yeah, he's been solid. I mean, he's not wowing you with anything, but he's out there every day and is a good corner. I mean, I think that secondary, if they keep the guys they have out there now, those 3 corners and those 2 safeties, I mean, that combined with what they're going to do to quarterbacks is going to be effective.
Well, I bring that up because he's what's he on, a 1-year deal? He's 26 years old. Like, it's not like he's 32 out there. And, you bring up Jack Rabbit Jenkins and Jonathan Joseph and Malcolm Butler. Like, those guys were older when the Titans acquired them and brought them in. Like, Murphy Bunting is 26. So, like, if he plays well this year, how much does that factor in? I mean, that all factors in to the Christian Fulton part of it, too, of allocating your money and choosing what to do with your secondary as you move forward. I mean, to me, he's in a different spot from those other veterans that they brought in just because of his age and that he's 26. And maybe if things go well this year, he can be a part of your future for the next 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is.
Yeah, he could be. It's kind of like he's one of those guys on that 1 year, okay, this is a big year for you in your career. Arden Key is a guy who, kind of goes to San Fran to kind of prove himself, and then he gets another year at Jacksonville, and all of a sudden now he's got himself a better opportunity. A lot of times it is in another spot, so, but sure, I mean, how much does he seems to really like it here. He seems to, enjoy himself. That's part of this too, if it goes well, but I don't know if he's one of those guys where you're like, yeah, you got to lock him up long term, or if you feel like you can get a guy like him again next offseason.
Real quickly on the text line, going back to the injury discussion, got a text that says, I think the biggest problem is the lack of involvement in the preseason and training camp. You should not give people days off. They need to go back to old school, stop treating billion-dollar players like crystal figurines.
Junction boys! Get back to the Junction boys!
But to your point, they have, to a certain degree, changed up the way that they're operating in the preseason this year, which is a little bit different than the way they've done. I mean, it's like every third day is kind of like a walkthrough day at this point, but not as many days off for the veterans. Kuharski was talking about that as it relates to Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry's thoughts on that were basically, the new offense is a big part of that, but haven't seen as many days off for veterans this year.
Now, I need to know who the billion-dollar. I didn't realize they made billions. That's amazing. I mean, the cap's going up, but my goodness. Yeah, so to this texter, let me ask you, so find what team out there in this league right now is doing what you suggest, right? Because there are teams that don't have these injuries. Everybody has injuries. Everybody has a lot of injuries. Football. It is a collision sport with the biggest, fastest, more powerful athletes in the world smashing into each other. But find me the team that does what you say, and then they don't have injuries. I mean, you got to still – the Titans have had it worse, so I get it. People being frustrated for sure. You got to find answers, but you also have to keep it in the context of what everybody else is doing.
Coming up next, it's time for Call Your Shot Friday. We need your called shots, your bold predictions on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We will do that coming up next. Make sure you tune in for Nashville Sounds Baseball today at 6:35 on 94.9 The Fan. Sounds taking on the Charlotte Knights, the AAA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox. Sounds Baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by 312 Pizza Company, Farm Bureau Health Plans, and Family Leisure. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. They fight.
Jared, you're how do you know, Joe? How do you know?
And fight.
And because of that,
How do you know that, though? How do you know that?
But that's okay. It's Jared and Joe. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m., Jared Stillman and Joe Rexrode debate the big topics in sports. Jared versus Joe. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors and Parman Tractor and Equipment on Stillman and Company. Wednesdays at 5 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Hang on. It's going to be a wild ride. The PBR team's champions, the Nashville Stampede, are coming home in a run to defend their title.
Yo, we coming.
Stampede Days, August 18th through 20th at Bridgestone Arena. Heart-pounding action you don't want to miss. Tickets start at $20. Get yours today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com.
Yo, we coming.
Join us for the ride.
Hey, are you seeking relief? Maybe you just want to enhance your day or night. Did you know there are legal THC products available right here in Tennessee? Yeah, really. You can have legal THC products shipped directly to the comfort of your home. Yes, comfort in cannabis is only a website away. Visit greentreescompany.com. That's Green Trees with a Z, and change your life today.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors, Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive, of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
It's a long summer. But don't worry. Hockey will be back soon. You'll hear every slap shot, save, hit, and of course,
knocked down in front, rebound, and a score!
On your home for Smashville, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Is it October yet? You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The sports weekend has arrived. You know what that means.
Shoot your shot.
It's time for Call Your Shot Friday with Robby and Rexrode on ESPN 102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It is that time of the week, time for Call Your Shot Friday here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your called shots, your bold predictions in the world of sports. Hit up our text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. Joe Rexrode, how did you all do last week in your called shots?
Well, let's see. I had Will Levis will have 2 touchdown passes and 1 pick in Chicago. He had one of each, right? Did he throw a TD pass?
I don't
think
think
so.
so.
About that? No. Okay. So he had the pick. I said Malik Willis will have a completion of more than 50 yards. He did not.
Close.
Yes. And I said Trey Wolf and Caleb Shudak will each miss a field goal, and PK panic will ensue. I was half right there. I get half credit for this one?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Nick said Nashville SC will win 2-1 over Minnesota United with Surridge scoring another goal.
I think they won 5-0.
They crushed them. The Surridge did score that game.
Surridge did score.
All right, so you get half credit too. And you said Will Levis will have at least 100 passing yards and a touchdown pass. So we both had him throwing a TD pass. Did not have it. Paul Pekarsky said, by Sunday night, a name of note in the NFL will be out for the season. He was wrong about that. Yeah, but it's always got to be so doom and gloom, man.
Panic.
Chance Campbell will play a lot and be among the defensive leaders. Actually, I think we got to give PK. I think we got to give him credit for that.
I agree.
He actually did play a ton, and he was among the defensive leaders.
Yeah.
And Chelsea will stun Liverpool in the EPL opener. First game for Pochettino. I don't know anything about any of that sentence, and I have no idea if he was right or wrong. So if anybody would like to let us know, text us in.
Chelsea versus who, Joe?
He said Chelsea will stun Liverpool.
Okay.
There
you go.
All right.
Nick Keyser, kick us off with today's edition of Call Your Shot Friday.
Awesome. Yeah, I sure will. So the first thing I'll go back to my boys in gold just because it's a big game this weekend, so why not? I'm going to say that Hani Mukhtar will score at least one goal, but here's the kicker. I'm going to say that Nashville scores the first goal of the game, so we'll see how that goes. I know that Messi has scored in every single game that he's been a part of so far during his time in Miami, but I'm going to say Hani scores, but also that NSC scores first in the matchup. And then my other half of my Call My Shot Friday, it is now high school football season, so I'm going to go back to Robby and I's high school. I'm going to say that Hendersonville takes down Gallatin tonight, so that should be a fun one. Look, why not? It's high school football.
The Commandos making Call Your Shot Friday. I like it.
Heck yeah, man. You have to toss them in there just a little bit here and there, and I think it's completely warranted. I loved Friday Night Lights, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like this year for the Commandos. So, yeah, why not?
There you go. Joe Rexrode, your called shots for this week.
Okay. Malik Willis will play the whole game. He will throw for 221 yards and one touchdown with one interception and have one rushing touchdown.
Okay, that's very specific.
Thank you.
221 yards.
Julius Chestnut will rush for 63 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
Chance Campbell, I'm adopting him from Paul Kaharski, has 11 tackles between defense and special teams.
Okay.
And finally, Lionel Messi will score 2 goals tomorrow in Geodis Park, but Nashville SC will win on penalty kicks, and John Ingram will drink an old style out of the League's Cup trophy. Thank you.
Very well done. Very well done. All right, my called shots. Malik Willis will throw for 3 touchdowns in a dominating Titans win in the preseason against Minnesota tomorrow night. 3 touchdowns through the air for Malik Willis.
Ooh.
Mason Kinsey will catch 2 of those. So 2 touchdown receptions for Mason Kinsey tomorrow against
Mason
Minnesota.
Kinsey's shot was we've been waiting too long for that one.
We have. Josh Wiley will catch the other. So a Josh Wiley touchdown.
Bounce back game.
2 Mason Kinsey touchdowns. Not a great game for Josh Wiley last week against Chicago, but a nice redemption story this week against Minnesota. And finally, Messi does not score.
Ooh,
no goals.
Wow.
Messi against Nashville SC.
That's a very good shot.
Nashville SC wins 3-1. 3-1 the final score. No goals for Messi. What do we think of that one?
That's a good shot. He's played in 6 games, all Leagues Cup games, and he has 9 goals.
I know.
So that would be quite something. I almost feel like
he's about to be stifled.
Well, I
tomorrow.
feel like Nashville SC fans would listen to that shot and say, "Can we just win 3-2 and he gets one?" You know, like then you get the whole thing. You get to see him score a goal, but also you get to see your team win.
I think they would take more pride in just shutting him down. The greatest player, in some people's mind, to ever walk the face of the planet in soccer. And he comes into Nashville and he gets shut down that first game. 3-1 is the score I'm calling. No goals for Messi.
That is a great shot.
I feel good about it. I thought about doing some like Jordan Love shots, but I'm going to be insufferable enough with that in the regular season. So we'll wait until the regular season to do that. Cam on the text line says, called shot, Hendersonville wins by 21+ against Gallatin. So a lot of love for the Commandos on the text line right now. It says Hani Mukhtar outshines Messi. Nashville SC wins 3-2 against Miami. Malik Willis will start at least 2 games this season. That's the other called shot from Cam.
That is a shot. John tells us Chelsea-Liverpool had a draw, by the way. So you're wrong, Kaharski.
There you go.
Ron, we got to give Ron credit.
He did.
Apparently, yeah.
You know what, too? I really think that one spicy detail that I think NSC may come down to, again, like they had against what was it? I think it was the game against Club America when VAR got involved during PKs. Yep. Oh, my gosh. I think there might be a fiasco as well during this game, too.
Wow. Well, hopefully not the same one as that one.
That's a goal shot, too.
Try to avoid that one.
On the fiasco shot.
Matthew from Jolton on the text line. LSU and Tennessee will be in the SEC title game. LSU and Tennessee. What do you think of that one?
Yeah, and he also has Michigan win the national championship. So Matthew from Jolson is a Wolvie.
I guess so.
Loves the Wolvies.
Harbaugh winning the national championship, LSU and
then
Tennessee.
Suspended all of next year and can't enjoy it.
Can't do anything after that. Also says Acuna reaches 40-40, so we'll keep an eye on that. Got Matt from Murfreesboro says a hat trick for Hani Mukhtar tomorrow. A lot of expectation on Hani Mukhtar tomorrow.
That is yeah, my goodness. Messi will get his autograph after that.
Yeah. Craig on the text line says, call shot is both the Titans and the Preds will make the playoffs this year, and the Titans will win at least one game in the playoffs. So, Craig, expecting both the Titans and the Preds to make the playoffs.
Okay. I like the optimism.
I like the optimism, too. Got another texter on the text line, which is not currently loading for me.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll get into that coming up.
I got it here. You want me? Who are you looking at, man? What do you want? What do you look for?
It was the 435 number.
Okay. Oh well. So this is actually not a shot, but this is a really interesting fact that we've been talking about with my buddy Mitch Light. Yeah, the number 2 player in the class of 26 is from Nashville.
Yep.
QB for.
No, I'm
it's a Christian school, but I forget the exact school, so I apologize. But I tell you what. We were talking about this with Junie before the show. The talent around here, high school football, is phenomenal and has had a significant uptick. Like the colleges, I mean, Big Ten, people are all over this place recruiting kids from here.
You want to do a Nolensville High called shot tonight?
I'm going to talk about Nolensville High in about an hour.
Okay.
But so I don't want to do, I don't want to jinx anything, or I don't want to disrespect anybody else. We're just going to try to keep our head down, play it one game at a time, and
one play at a time. All those
right.
things.
Just
okay, Mike Vrabel.
Team. Yeah, that's right.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, we'll get back into the Titans. Take a look at the game tomorrow, preseason game number 2 for the Titans. What are we looking for? What are the storylines heading into tomorrow's game between the Titans and the Minnesota Vikings? We'll get into that coming up next. We're live out here today at Duncan in Lebanon off Highway 109 here in Lebanon, 350 Highway 109. And got a lot of people rolling into the new Duncan out here at the grand opening. So cornhole boards still available out here. So come on in, get the cornhole boards. All you got to do is say, pump for pumpkin. I'm pumped for pumpkin. And the first person to say that will get these brand spanking new cornhole boards in here that look really, really nice. So make sure you come out here in Lebanon. The new, the new Dunkin' Donuts grand opening out here off Highway 109, 350 Highway 109 North. Joe and I will be out here all show long here today here on the program. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every day we are live and local.
I think Vanderbilt is steady, disciplined.
It's been so long since Tennessee's gotten out of the first weekend.
And your source for Nashville sports.
I don't mind going to another team. You want to know what the coaching staff's going to look like.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Oh, Charlie's, that's where you'll find me. That southern flavor got me saying, hey, y'all. And ooh, that gooey caramel pie tastes like summertime at Old Charlie's.
The sweet, sweet sounds of this song are in honor of the sweet, sweet news that Free Pie Wednesdays are back at O'Charlie's. O'Charlie's. Oh, that's good.
Yum, yum, that's some O'Charlie's. Born in Nashville and it shows.
Football season is back, and nothing beats seeing your favorite team live. Not only does Vivid Seats have great deals on great seats, they're the official ticketing partner of ESPN and the only ticket company that rewards you for buying. Catch every pass, every tackle, and every heart-pounding play live and in person. Fan out all season long with tickets from Vivid Seats. To score tickets backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, download the app or visit vividseats.com today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
In any work environment, culture is the most important thing. And what makes up the culture? The people. Hey, this is General Manager Sean Ford with Cromwell Media. This month, we want to highlight 2 individuals on our team celebrating their anniversary. First, Max Hers is celebrating over 5 years with us on 1025 The Game. And our president and owner, Bud Walters, is celebrating his 51st year with Cromwell Media. Thanks to you for the community you've built here. If you're looking for a new career, reach out to us at together@cromwellmedia.com. Love what you do, love where you work.
Your Game Center update.
This is Nick Keiser. The Tennessee Titans completed their joint practice against the Vikings yesterday. So, how did head coach Mike Vrabel feel about his defense's performance?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we did. I think we came out. We got good third down work. We got good red zone work, good situational work. Really liked the pace in which they practice and they move. I thought it moved along. We got a lot of reps in there, so a lot to teach from.
And Nolensville plays in the Little League World Series today. They'll take on the Metro region at 2 p.m. to get rolling up there in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And then over at First Horizon Park, the Nashville Sounds are now winners of 2 in a row after a 5-4 victory over the Charlotte Knights last night. They'll be back in action over at 6:20 p.m. on 94.9 The Fan. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game or visit theGameNashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUZ HD2 Laverne.
Robby and Rexrode. Chase McCabe.
Caroline, Willie, D-Mays.
Stone and Company.
Nashville's best sports talk.
Crank it up.
1025 and 1063.
Rebound on the score.
Make every play perfect.
Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
We're going to win the game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun.
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 1025 and 1063 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
it's showtime.
Hour number 2, Robby and Rexrode, 1025, 1063 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode. Nick Keiser here with you on this Friday morning. We are live out in Lebanon, Tennessee at the brand new Duncan. The grand opening of the Duncan, 350 Highway 109 North out here in Lebanon. The grand opening of the new next-gen location. Pumpkin is in. Sign up for rewards and receive $5 gift cards and fun Duncan giveaways while supplies last. We're going to be out here all show long. Junie Riddle is out here as well, with his beautiful face, his Pittsburgh Steelers hat on as well, so we won't hold that against him. But Junie Riddle out here with spouting off sports takes left and right.
He's out there, he's like staring into the distance, just thinking about Kenny Pickett, checkdowns. Like Kenny Pickett checkdowns flashing through his brain right now. Sounds amazing.
Dump it off there, 5 yards here, 3 yards there. Mike Tomlin, very happy.
TJ Watt, wow, what a swim move.
What a swim move. Beautiful, beautiful stuff out there. 615-737-1025. We'll have Ben Wright from Broadway Sports Media coming up at 7:30. We'll get his thoughts on Nashville SC as they host Inter Miami. Lionel Messi coming up tomorrow at Geodis Park. So Ben Wright coming up at 7:30. Teron Davenport at 8 o'clock. Paul Koharski scheduled to join us at 8:30. So looking forward to all that. Right now, taking your thoughts, 615-737-1025. Let's go to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in our buddy Mark in Nashville. Mark, good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, congratulations on your little girl, Robby.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate that.
Yeah, congratulations. Hey, Joe, congratulations to you for winning. Was that your third straight win the other day?
Similar triumph of life. Robby as a baby, I kicked Jared's butt. It's similar level of ecstasy.
Yeah, but Joe, I'm a fan of you. I'm the leader of your fan club. I'm your manager.
Yes.
Why you never shout me out, man, when you get a big victory like that?
I think it's disrespectful that Joe hasn't done that yet.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, it really has, man.
In fact, I'm gonna. Yeah, because I can't say it before. Then if I lose, then I can't. But I will. I will shout you out next time, which it won't be long. You don't have to wait long, Mark.
Oh yeah, I know that. Hey, but I wanted to do a shout out today. You call shots the way y'all were doing that earlier. Malik Willis will have 100 yards passing tonight or when they play the preseason game. But Joe, I got a call shot. I know it's going to be controversial, but I got to say it. I know you're a homer. I thought you were a homer with Detroit. But, Joe, yeah. I'm going with the Detroit Lions. And I want everybody in Nashville to listen to this. I know it's going to make a lot of people mad. The Detroit Lions will make the NFC Championship game this year. Aiden Hutchinson will win Defensive Player of the Year.
Jeez.
And, huh?
I just said jeez.
Hey, Joe. And yes, I'm buying into the Detroit Lions, Joe. I've looked at them. I've kept up with them. I think Goff's going to have a phenomenal year. I think Goff moves up into a top 6, top 7 quarterback in the NFL. I got them playing the San Francisco 49ers for the NFC Championship. 49ers will go on and play probably Buffalo in the Super Bowl. But I got your Detroit Lions, Joe, in the NFC Championship game this year.
I love it.
That's a heck of a shot. Now, this kind of sounds like Positive PK the other day when they're like, Positive PK. I can't even. But Positive PK is like, Derrick Henry's going to have 2,500 yards and like.
Hey, Joe, you do a good impression of Mr. Ivy League. You do, man. You do a good impression. And another thing, Robby, you talking about Hendersonville high school football. Robby, I got to say, Murfreesboro, Oakland is the best high school program in the state today. They're a beast up there. They'll be going for their 3rd straight state title this year. Give a shout-out to the coaches up there that coach the youth. There's athletes abroad up there in Murfreesboro. I just want to give a shout-out to them, man, the good job they do developing those guys and getting them ready for high school.
Absolute machine.
They are.
Robby, y'all have a good weekend, man. I'll be talking to y'all, and I'm out of here, man, so I'm getting ready to head on up here to Kansas City. Y'all have a good weekend.
All right, Mark. Thanks for calling
buddy.
in, brother.
Thanks, Mark.
Appreciate you. Mark and
All right,
Nashville
we'll see
here
y'all.
with us on the program. Lions, NFC title game.
Yeah, that's well, that's. I don't think people are going to be mad about that. I think they feel sad that someone has that take. Poor Mark. I know I kind of do, but at least he just thinks that it's like not like that. There are actually people up around the Lions who probably think that and have their hearts set on it. So
I told you yesterday, 8th best Super Bowl odds. Detroit Lions.
Yeah. Scott. By the way, Scotty from Dixon, thank you. The QB is Jared Curtis.
Yes, thank
Nashville
you.
Christian. So there you go.
So what are the maybe 2 or 3 things that you're most looking forward to tomorrow when the Titans take on the Vikings in preseason game number 2?
Well, I'm definitely looking to see if that offensive line, again, this is going to be different than the Bears game, that the Bears played a lot of starters on defense early. So the one's offensive line got a chance to go against some guys who are going to be playing on Sundays this fall. I don't think we're going to see that tomorrow night, but I still want to see that one's offensive line get work. I would say maybe a little more work. I don't know if Vrabel's going to go for this, but I just feel like these games do provide some value in that way. So I'm looking to see if they play, how much they play, how well they play, and if they can kind of keep the momentum going from the last preseason game. It sounds like, a decent week. It was the Titans, I think, if they won the week against the Vikings, it was because their defense dominated, right?
Yeah.
And as we know, all those guys who were kicking butt on the field against the Vikings at the joint practices are going to be wearing hats
They're not playing
tomorrow. So there's not a lot. I mean, it's that. I'm still looking at linebacker. I mean, Gibbons. Rice, I think, is banged up because he's so. That competition right now isn't even really happening. The receivers, too, the guys who will play. I mean, Racey McMath, to me, is interesting. Roberson is interesting. Harrison, Kyrus, some of those guys at the bottom. Mason Kinsey. Okay, all right.
I've got him having 2 touchdowns. So.
Yes, you do. But, some of those guys who are working, and running back, too. Who's getting the reps at running back? Does Spears get more work? Does Chestnut make a move? I've got him for 63 and a touch. But the Haskins-Chestnut competition, I think, is still a thing to keep an eye on.
Beyond the quarterbacks, because obviously, the status of Will Levis and whether or not he's going to be able to play after suffering the lower body injury yesterday. Malik Willis, if he is getting the whole game, what does that look like? That's obviously number one. We've talked about that. I kid you not, the number 2 thing that I'm looking forward to tomorrow to watching is, can they make kicks? Can the kickers kick the ball through the uprights? That'd be great.
Huge.
Shudak, Trey Wolf, can one of those 2 guys grab the bull by the horns and run away with the job? I mean, they need, beyond just the obvious of making kicks and making NFL kicks that you should expect, 42-yarders, being able to make kicks beyond 50 yards in the National Football League. They need to get this figured out short term and long term. They need the kicking position figured out. as they move forward, where they don't have to worry about it heading into next year, halfway through this season, whatever it is. So I'm not kidding you. Number 2 thing I'm looking forward to is the kicking tomorrow.
No, you make a case for that as number 1, and you could make a case even for, really interesting soundbite. I think they played it on Jared's show from Kirk Cousins yesterday, and Jared gushing about Cousins. I'm like, yeah, man, I was trying to tell you that. But he had a great quote about, on certain plays when you're going against a team, it's like, okay, what play? Well, we could rep the play. Do we want to win the play? Because I got a play that I feel great about, and I've been repping it, and I feel great. Or do we want a play that we're not doing so well that we want to work on, right? And so it's an interesting way. You got to think about it that way. These people are trying to get work. That's what Vrabel's always like. We got good work, The results right now don't matter as much. So to that point, I mean, I said it last week. Like, Malik Willis had a nice little play to get them closer at the end of the half, which is what you want a quarterback to do. But before that, I'm like, kneel.
Yeah.
Kneel
See if
right
you can make
now.
this kick.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but that's what you're trying to do. And actually, think about the pressure you actually would – it's like extra pressure.
We're stopping this drive.
Yeah, we're going to look stupid in a football game and kneel just because you need to show us you can kick a 50-yarder. No, I think you make a case for that as the number 1 thing. And I heard Jared and TD kind of talking about, basically they think it's already – I don't know if TD – I think Jared, of course, with the overzealous take, but that he thinks it's already over with these guys. I don't agree with that. I do think that if it goes poorly Saturday, then you have to start looking at the waiver wire and wondering.
He thinks it's already over as they're moving on to find another kicker.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I'm already moved on for these guys. I'm like, calm down. But it wasn't as good as you wanted this week. I know it was windy out there, but it wasn't as good as you wanted last week in the preseason game. I think this game is, for both of them, critical. And I feel like, obviously Wolf right now missing that kick. He was the guy brought in to challenge. I mean, I think he probably is in more jeopardy. But if either of them has a great game while the other one has a bad game, I mean, maybe now you bring in somebody else to compete with the guy. I don't know.
Well, it's clear to me that neither one of them have separated themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's to me, if that would have happened, then one of the two of them probably wouldn't be there at this point. So, like, I understand the idea of having competition, and you want to push your kickers and see how they respond to that thing. But like, if Shudak had run away with it at this point, like, I think he'd just be the kicker. I think that's probably how you handle it at that point. So it tells me that the Titans are not satisfied with what they've seen from either of them at this point. If they go out tomorrow and they have bad games, then I don't know what you do at that point. We've looked at the free agent options that are out there. Not a ton of great ones. I don't know what you do if you roll out there tomorrow and kicking is a disaster.
Is Randy Bullock out there?
He's still out there. Just bring him back.
I mean, I know it'd be awkward, but, like, you'd be okay.
Randy, we tried to move
on from
you.
It's not good enough. Yeah, we can't quit you, Randy.
We just can't do it. We just have to realize that anything from 48-plus we're not getting, baby. We just got to get it closer.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe he's been doing leg lifts, man. I don't know. Maybe he's going to come out and just start bombing 58-yarders.
You interested in Stonehouse? Watching some punting tomorrow? Vrabel, I will say, not afraid to get after the punters.
Vrabel may be the most critical. The Titans have the most interviewed special teams coach and the most ripping punters head coach
in the
NFL.
Better punting. Punting's got to be better.
Ripping Brett Kern before.
He never.
How dare you?
Vrabel never rips anybody on the press conference.
Right.
The punting, though, he's all over it.
He's obviously a punter hater.
615-737-1025, our phone number. We'll take more of your thoughts on the Titans in advance of their preseason game tomorrow against Minnesota. Also get into Nashville SC hosting Inter Miami. Coming up tomorrow at Geodis Park as well. We'll have Ben Wright coming up at 7:30. Looking forward to that conversation with him. All that coming up. We are your racing station. 102.5, 106.3 The Game is Nashville's home for NASCAR. Tune in this Sunday for the Go Bowling at the Glen at 3 p.m. NASCAR on 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by O'Charlie's. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Nashville Sounds Baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Every hit.
That's a base hit.
Every run.
Looking up, it's gone.
On your home for Sounds Baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
We buy any car. Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because selling it yourself can be, well, you know.
Okay, I'll give you half now. And? No, and just half. What?
Avoid the hassle. Come to We Buy Any Car instead. Get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price.
Yeah, I can't do half. I could probably bump it up to like 50%.
Just go.
Okay.
Get your free online valuation now at
WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
We're talking values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds, all hand-picked for maximum brilliance and all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry store owners and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiance, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts.
And now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity. Limit one per customer, please.
Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
See store for details.
Hi, I'm Chase McCabe with your PBR Minute. Professional bull riders Nashville Stampede Days are finally here in Nashville. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at Bridgestone Arena. You can still get your tickets, PBR.com, Ticketmaster.com, or at the Bridgestone Arena box office. And head coach Justin McBride knows it's going to be an exciting time.
They can expect some action. I mean, it's going to be bordering on the line of out of control at times. And you're going to see guys that are giving everything they got to represent their team. That's really what I'm so excited about is when you take something, a combat sport like bull riding, and you put that many people in one place cheering for a group of guys, those guys can find something more. You know, they can find things that they didn't even know they had within themselves to get the job done.
Get your tickets at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com right now.
Want to weigh in on the conversation?
It's a brain booster.
Slide into our DMs. Or just text or call at 615-737-1025. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Good morning.
You're locked into Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty.
I had the radio on. I'm listening to
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey brother, hey sister, I'll never give up on you.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Call TJ's team today to see why they are referred to so often. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. Live from our 102.5 The Game studio, Nick Keyser holding down the fort. Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Nashville SC in action tomorrow against Inter Miami CF, and Lionel Messi coming in. Obviously, a ton of attention around that game. A Leagues Cup final tomorrow for Nashville SC with a chance to win a championship tomorrow. So going to be a wild environment at Geodis Park. We spent a lot of yesterday, Joe, discussing the ticket prices and everything going on around that with the game itself. What about the significance of the game? And if Nashville SC is able to pull this off and they win tomorrow, it will be a Leagues Cup championship. It's not the MLS Cup, so it is, kind of a different, and we've talked about this, the different way of doing things in the soccer world of kind of having some tournaments in the middle of the season. But it would be, a championship that Nashville SC is winning tomorrow.
Involving Liga MX.
Yeah, and you could make an argument, maybe a more impressive championship than an MLS Cup. So I've seen people online, and a lot of these are huge Nashville SC fans, which understandably so you'd have this thought. I have seen people that have said if they do this, and even before, even if they don't win, like tomorrow night's game is the biggest pro sporting event in the history of pro sports in Tennessee. Now, some people have said that. There's been a Stanley Cup final here. There's never been an actual AFC title game hosted here. There have been several divisional games here. The Titans have been to a few AFC title games. They never hosted one. What do you make of that idea that tomorrow, that some have thrown out there, that tomorrow is the biggest game in the history of Tennessee pro sports?
See, you frame these questions to make me come off as a soccer hater.
I am just throwing it. I've just seen it out there, and I want to get your take on it.
So first of all, okay, let me backtrack before I answer that. So I wrote something for The Athletic about this, and I just want you to know that I got John Ingram to text me back.
Oh, yeah.
And I want you to read this. I'm going to read this quote from John Ingram. In the words of Tom Brady, let's go!
Oh, yeah.
He actually typed out 3 exclamation points. For anybody who isn't familiar with John Ingram, he's a rather soft-spoken gentleman, and he's jacked up. He, of course, owns Nashville SC. What I tried to write about was like, okay, and stuff we've talked about, the biggest, star coming into the town. He even take it to, like, Michael Jackson. Did you know this, by the way? Michael Jackson didn't come here after the Jackson 5. They played at Neyland Stadium in '84, the Victory Tour, so it was Michael, but it was also the Jacksons with him, his brothers. 148,000 people went to that concert at Neyland Stadium. My God.
I guess on the field.
Yeah, right. But, I mean, that's insane. So, look, I think that in terms of the Messi factor, and a lot of people think he's the greatest soccer player of all time.
Yep.
And he's one of the most famous people of all time. He's as famous as anyone right now in the world. So that aspect of it, and it's a huge opportunity for Nashville SC. It's hard for me, and we're going to talk to Ben Wright. I'm interested to get his thoughts on this. I can't equate an in-season soccer tournament involving MLS and Liga MX, or there are other leagues in the world better than them, to the Stanley Cup final. I can't. I'm sorry. So again, thank you for making me come off as a soccer
I'm with
hater.
you. And I've had people get really mad at me for saying this before. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's the way I view it. Like, MLS, it's not the best league in the world, right? It is the top league in our country, but it's not the best league in the world. So it's not quite the same as, like, the NHL is the best hockey league in the world, the NFL the best football league in the world. It's different. But, I mean, it's just how do you put that to scale in terms of significance, I guess, is the question. It's a huge deal, obviously. The ticket prices reflect that. Beyond the messy part of this, which is why this is generating a ton of attention from a national standpoint, is messy and everything goes around that. Beyond that part of it, it's been a heck of a tournament to watch for Nashville SC. It's been a lot of fun for them to get to this point. It's difficult for me to just – given what we just talked about of the scale of it in terms of the NHL being the best league in the world, the NFL being the best league in the world, and knowing that MLS is not the best soccer league in the world, how does that factor into the scale when you're talking about the biggest sporting events that this state has ever hosted from a pro sports standpoint?
Yeah, it's got to be considered, Now, Ingram, and I agree, I talked to Newton Dominy, who's one of the great supporters of this club, going back to, as you know, Robbie, a lot of people have been tweeting at us this week. They were a fan. I mean, this is a fan-owned amateur club.
Yep.
And it moves up. They just got the USL bump in 2016 when they start going after MLS. It's like, you just got USL. You're not going to get this. It's an incredible story of kind of like this club and how everything came together in tandem with the growth of the city.
Oh, yeah.
So Ingram and Dominic both said it kind of reminds them of that, the Stanley Cup final. And I agree. It's like in a short. The thing about the Stanley Cup final is you have 2 months of buildup, and you're going through that incredible tournament. And so by the time it gets to that, I mean, this place was, for anybody who was here, it was, it was wild. It was insane. And of course, you've got it with, when they're playing, they're actually in the final. That's also the music.
Oh, the CMA Fest?
Thank you. CMA is going on. We're not going to have scenes like that around this, right? But I do think that the buzz in the city it's different, man. It is different. I mean, a lot of it is messy, but it's also, I think, because of him, because of these games, as you said, these wins and the visibility, I mean, it's an incredible opportunity for them to take hold of the city. It's not easy when you're in a city with an NFL and an NHL team and in a state where the Vols are still king of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the comparisons when it comes to that, I'm sorry, it falls short of the league. But in terms of this city and the buzz, I do agree that there are some parallels there with 2017, the summer of 2017.
Yeah, it's really cool. Look, I've been around since the infancy of Nashville SC. I got some buddies that are really involved with Nashville SC back when it was Nashville FC, and we talked about the fan-owned club, and they were playing games at Vanderbilt Stadium, and there's 115 people out there watching them play, and then you move up to USL and then quickly go to MLS. opening night, you were there for it, opening night in MLS when they played Atlanta at Nissan. It was awesome. Just a great environment
60,000 people.
60,000 people. All that has been great. The run that they're on right now, is far and away, to me, the best thing that has ever happened to Nashville SC. The run that they've been on through the Leagues Cup, beyond the messy part of it, and that's going to be the culmination of it tomorrow night. We'll see if they can win. But the run that they've been on and the buzz that they've generated in this tournament has far and away been the best thing that's ever happened to them. And if you close it out and you can win it tomorrow against the greatest soccer player to ever grace the face of the earth, then I think that goes a long way towards permanently establishing your foothold here. I don't know. Look, it's
You're
never going to take on the NFL.
Fans. You're going to add fans. You're adding fans right now. You have.
There's
like
no
the Preds
question
did.
about it. Well, and you're dominating part of the conversation, right? It's preseason NFL football tomorrow. The Titans are the NFL team in town, and I don't know how many people are going to be watching Nashville SC, but I would wager a good amount of people are going to be doing what I'm doing tomorrow, which is I'm going to have one screen on the Titans, and I'm going to have the other screen on Nashville SC, watching that happen. And if you would have told me that 2 months ago, I'd have said you're insane.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, it's and it's if they do win, it is a championship. Obviously we're still waiting in this state for the first major professional sports championship. Actually, this is a great question for a hardcore Nashville SC season ticket holding fan. Okay, I give you the choice of winning Saturday against Messi, or actually winning your league this year, winning the championship of the MLS. Well, what are you choosing? The win tomorrow is, again, someone asked on the text line, would the ticket price be different if not for Messi? Well, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. The Messi factor here is absolutely central. You can't – again, the fact that he's in this league right now, still great, is huge for the league. So, yeah, of course it would be. But that's an interesting question. I'd like some response to that. You have your choice.
Yeah, Tully Murfreesboro on the text line says if they win with Messi factored in, it has to be top 5, but not quite NHL Finals. It's not the top league in the world, but alternatively, it's the most popular sport in the world. Just from Tully in the borough. So that part of it has to be factored in as well. Look, this is going to be – it's going to be really fun to watch. I'm really excited for it tomorrow. To answer your question, and this is just me, and this is probably where the Messi part of it comes in, I would rather them win tomorrow.
Interesting.
And win the Leagues Cup than the MLS Cup. Now, there are probably a lot of people that say you're insane, but the Messi part of it, to me, that takes it over the top for me.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting question. Chris says, Titans preseason, nah. Nashville SC versus best player in the world, nah. Bull riding, yeah, baby.
That's right.
And that's a great question here. Why is Lionel pronounced differently for Richie versus Messi? These are the important questions we ask on Robby and Rexrode.
It is. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Ben Wright from Broadway Sports. We'll get his thoughts on Nashville SC hosting Inter Miami tomorrow, the significance of this game, and more. All that coming up. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
New home. New energy. Same Blue Raiders.
99 yards! Touchdown, Middle Tennessee!
Catch every game for MTSU on 93.3 Classic Hits. Coach Rick Stockstill is poised to lead his team to yet another bowl appearance.
We're really excited about this opportunity.
Your home for the Blue Raiders is 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
Hey, it's Jared. Want to tell you about Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Hiller is keeping you chillin' all summer with special deals to keep you relaxed and happy this summer. Tackle those necessary home system replacements this month to take advantage of these special deals. When you purchase a select new HVAC system, you'll get 2 Yeti Trailhead camping chairs, a Yeti Panga 28L waterproof backpack, a Yeti Tundra 75, and 2 Yeti tumblers for free. And get special freebies on Yeti products with every new whole home generator or tankless water heater purchase. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Oh, Charlie's, that's where you'll find me. That southern flavor got me saying, hey, y'all. Yum, yum, have some fun, share with the ones you love. Don't you want to roll?
At O'Charlie's, we thought you'd enjoy a little country rock and rolls. The warm, buttery, delicious kind. Served free with every meal. O'Charlie's. Oh, that's good.
Harmon Energy is your one-stop petroleum solution across all of Tennessee, offering turnkey petroleum solutions for professionals in major industries, serving trucking fleets, construction companies, industrial plants, and more. Whether a large corporation or owner-operator, Harmon Energy has your diesel fuel, lubricant, DEF, and equipment needs. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman. Visit ParmanEnergy.com for more info. Your Tennessee petroleum solution, providing totally outrageous customer service.
B&B Flooring has a goal to bring your dream floor to you. Over 30 years running and locally owned and operated, B&B Flooring's full-service commercial and residential team will handle anything from tile, luxury vinyl, carpet, hardwood, rubber, and all commercial products. Make your flooring selection today and visit their showroom at 2204 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro, or check them out at bnbflooring.com. Come celebrate B&B Flooring's official grand opening party Saturday, August 19th at their Murfreesboro location. There will be prizes, ticket giveaways, and much more.
Hendersonville has a newly renovated Dunkin' store, and the game invites you to join us this coming Monday morning for their grand reopening at 209 Indian Lake Boulevard in Hendersonville. We will be there with great giveaways and free stuff. That's Monday morning at the newly remodeled Dunkin' in Hendersonville.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
AutoZone is more than a parts store. It's where we help you solve problems like, sorry I'm late, my battery died. And
I need a jump again.
At America's #1 battery destination, you can find the right battery at the right price with options starting at only $89.99. And we offer free battery testing and charging whenever you need it. Get the parts and help you need to get the job done right at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
When it comes to Chase McCabe,
The Nashville Predators, the Titans, the NBA, college football, talk a little racing.
you get a little bit of everything.
But hey, you know what? We're getting it done.
Join Chase McCabe weekday mornings at 9 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, this is Philip Forsberg. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Robby Stanley alongside Joe Rexrode. Nick Keyser here with you on this Friday morning. Nashville SC in action tomorrow in the League's Cup Final, hosting Lionel Messi and Inter Miami CF. And to help us talk more about that, let's go to our 102.5 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in Ben Wright, who covers Nashville SC for Broadway Sports. Ben, good morning. How are we doing?
I am doing well. Excited for this weekend, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for taking time to be with us. So, Ben, we were just talking about this. It's been a wild ride to watch Nashville SC get to this point. If they're able to pull this off tomorrow and they win, how do you relate this in terms of the accomplishments of Nashville professional sports teams? And obviously a championship would be some hardware tomorrow if they're able to get this done. What sort of an accomplishment is this for Nashville SC if they're able to pull this off?
I mean, it's a big deal. It would be the first trophy in Nashville SC history. I believe it would be the first trophy won by a professional team in Tennessee. So, I mean, it would be pretty historic for them. To be fair, the League's Cup, this is the first ever edition of this tournament. So it's not like this is some huge historic tournament that's gone on for 20, 30 years. This is a relatively new thing. But I think everybody's been pretty blown away at how competitive the tournament has been, how seriously teams from MLS and Mexico have taken it, and I think it would be a huge deal for Nashville.
Ben, put Messi into context for us, just in terms of, I mean, he's still great, what it means for him to be in MLS, and then just also, like, what you've seen in terms of the reaction around the city and what it means not just for Nashville SC, but for Nashville.
I mean, it's huge. I was really surprised that he came to MLS. I mean, he's 36, but I mean, let's be real. He's still one of the best players on the planet. He's 9 months off of winning a World Cup with one of the single best performances I've ever seen at a World Cup. I mean, so he's maybe not the same Messi as he was 10 years ago, but he even Messi at 80% of his prime is still one of the best players in the world. Just the popularity that he has, I believe he's like the most followed person on Instagram. He has a huge just mass appeal. People are tracking down tickets for this game who don't even care about soccer just because of Messi. So I think it's kind of a mass appeal that we really haven't seen in soccer in the U.S. before. I think it's great for the game in the U.S., great for the league, and I mean, I'm really interested to see what the crowd looks like tomorrow. I think it's going to be insane.
Yeah, really interested to see that as well. And Ben, we were talking about the ticket prices to get into Geodis Park tomorrow yesterday on the show. What's been the reaction that you've seen from Nashville SC fans, the reaction that you've seen from the public at large to just how much it may cost you to get in the building tomorrow night?
Yeah, I think people are surprised, which I'm not sure they should be. If you look at the games that Miami has already played on the road, it's been pretty similar. I think for their semifinal against Philadelphia on Tuesday, the cheapest ticket was like $300. So it's not necessarily that far off from how it's been. I definitely think there's some fans who are disappointed. Season ticket holders had to opt out of this tournament. So if you didn't opt out, you get your regular tickets at your regular price. So I know a lot of people got in for $30 or $40, but those who decided to opt out or don't have season tickets, I mean, they're kind of out of luck, which is a shame because there are a lot of fans who've been around this team for a while who want to be at the first final in team history who are now kind of on the outside looking in. But I do think that's just kind of the way it goes with these sites like Ticketmaster and everything that use dynamic pricing. And I think that's one of the downsides to it. But that might be a whole other 20-minute conversation.
Yeah, exactly. I got to say, like, the fact that I guess, people don't know what may happen or whatever, but I mean, I guess I don't understand opting out just in case, you know what I mean? Obviously right. I feel bad for someone who now is out a lot of money or can't come, but regardless, it is going to be a wild scene, Ben. And we were talking about this in terms of, maybe a little bit of a comparison to like the Nashville Predators Stanley Cup final run, just in terms of, I think that run added fans to the fan base who are still fans of that team now. Do you think this is a fan base multiplier for Nashville SC?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think this comes at a really good time, too, because if you look at the MLS Cup playoffs that they usually play in every year, that's in the middle of October, November, like right in the heat of NFL. I think this comes at a great time because there's not a ton of other stuff going on sports-wise. NFL hasn't even started. There's just not much going on. So in a lot of ways, like, this is the thing happening in Nashville right now. And then from a global perspective, too, I mean, this Apple TV deal that was just signed at the start of the year, it goes everywhere. There are no blackouts. You can watch it anywhere in the world. Messi has part of the deal to bring him over is he's getting a percentage of the TV deal individually, which I've never seen a deal like that before. But he's like sharing it on all his social media profiles. He's brought in a significant amount of subscribers. So there's like a huge global audience too. So I think even outside of Nashville, I mean, it's going to be huge in Nashville, but from a global perspective, there's a real sense that like everybody is going to be watching Nashville this weekend. And I don't think that's really happened before.
Ben Wright from Broadway Sports with us here on Robby and Rexrode. So, Ben, the journey to get to this point, to the Leagues Cup final, what has stood out to you about Nashville SC, the way that they played in order to get to this point where they're taking on Miami tomorrow in the final?
I mean, it's been impressive. They were struggling in MLS before this tournament kicked off. I think they had won one out of their 6 games before the tournament started. They had just lost back-to-back games to Philadelphia and Cincinnati, who are two of the better teams in the Eastern Conference in MLS, 2 of their rivals. In both those games, they had 2 players sent off with a red card. So just really, really struggling, really, really poor form. I don't think there were a ton of huge expectations for them. And just somehow in this tournament, everything's clicked. The whole team has played well. Hani Mukhtar hasn't scored nearly as much as he usually does, but he's still been creating chances. He's been assisting. And one of the big things is they finally have signed a striker. It's been kind of the thing that's been haunting them really since they came to MLS. They've swung and missed on a couple big strikers. They signed Sam Sturridge. He has 3 goals in his first 3 games. He's played really well. He's linked up really well with Hani Mukhtar. And he it's still early, but he looks like they finally got it right. And so I think his form has been huge. But yeah, I mean, they knocked off.
I think we may have lost Ben there for a second.
Hope he's all right.
We'll see if we can reconnect with Ben.
Like these Messi fans out here, man. They're just
they're all around.
They're screaming at people.
They're all around. We'll see if we can reconnect with Ben Wright here in the next few minutes.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
There he is.
You all right?
Sorry. Wife turned on the car, and apparently my phone automatically connected to that.
No, we thought it was Messi, the Messi paparazzi.
Yeah, they're catching up to Ben.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned
just my 4 kids, which is probably worse.
Well, yeah, you mentioned Sam Surridge. Obviously, he's been such a huge addition here, Ben. Hani Mukhtar, how big is this moment for him? Because I still think enough people don't recognize how good he is and how huge he is. I mean, I know he's MVP last year in the league, but just like even globally for him, what is it? What kind of opportunity is this for him?
I mean, it's big. He's been the best player in MLS for probably 2.5 years at this point, but doesn't have a trophy to show for it. I think he obviously, the goal is still to win the MLS Cup, but this would be a great start. I think he, like I said earlier, he hasn't scored nearly as much as you would have expected. I think if you had told me that Nashville had made the final of Leagues Cup and only had 2 goals from Hani Mukhtar during the tournament, I would have been shocked. But I think it's really a testament to how good he is as a chance creator, because he's not just been scoring, he's been setting up other players. And 2, I think a lot of other players have stepped up. And so it's been, I think, much more of a cohesive team performance than we've seen before. Because kind of in the past, it's been, if Mukhtar is not scoring, this team is not doing anything. And so I really think it's been kind of a level of team cohesiveness that we haven't really seen before.
Ben, last thing for you here, as you look at the way that Nashville SC has gotten to this point, I think there's this perception around Gary Smith that he's a defensive coach and Nashville SC is a defensive team, and we got players like Walker Zimmerman, and we understand those things. But I think they've been really exciting to watch offensively. Obviously, Surridge has been a big part of that, as you mentioned. But what do you make of that perception around Gary Smith, and has this tournament changed that in some Nashville SC fans' mind to your way of thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of people who watched Gary Smith back when he was with Colorado in 2010, and then initially with Nashville in 2020, who saw probably what was a defensive team and haven't really watched much of Nashville since, and just kind of have stuck with it. I think that's a pretty outdated narrative. He actually, after the Monterrey win, he talked about this. He made the point that there's a difference between a defensive team and a well-organized team, and I think that's true. Nashville are obviously very good defensively, but that's not all they are. I mean, you have Hani Mukhtar, who's probably the best attacker in the league. They have taken a lot of risks in possession this tournament. They've gone toe-to-toe with Club America and Monterrey, who are legitimately 2 of the biggest teams in the continent, and not just held their own, but, I mean, they looked better for large stretches of those. So it wasn't just Nashville sitting back and putting 11 players behind the ball and just kind of hoping they can squeak out a 0-0 draw. They've played. And so I think, that the defensive-only team narrative is just pretty outdated, and I think they're a lot more than that.
Well, Ben, appreciate so much you taking time to be with us this morning. Have fun tomorrow at the game, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. This is fun.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ben.
Ben Wright from Broadway Sports, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode. We'll take your thoughts, 615-737-1025 on our phone and text lines, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. The Rex Rant with Joe Rexrode coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
Are you always on the go? We've got you covered. Download the Game Nashville app from your app store and listen to us wherever you are.
Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexrode. It's Chase McCabe.
Caroline, Willie, D-Mays.
Stupid Company.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
Good station. I listen to it all the time.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Sounds fans, Jeff Hem here at First Horizon Park with your Nashville Sounds update on 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan. With 33 games left in their season, the Sounds are staying in the thick of the International League playoff race. They beat Charlotte last night with a late rally for the second night in a row. 5-4 was the final. Patrick Dorian hit his 20th home run of the year, a solo shot in the 7th inning, and then after Rowdy Tellez tied the game with an RBI double in the 8th inning, Keston Hiura hit number 20 himself. And here he hits a high fly ball. Deep left center. Paisley back. He looks up. That ball is gone. They've got young lefty Robert Gasser and his 7-1 record on the mound tonight in Game 4. The pregame on 94.9 The Fan at 6:20, and the first pitch from First Horizon Park at 6:35. This is Jeff Hem with your Sounds Update on 102.5 The Game and 94.9 The Fan.
So you're in the middle of a kitchen update, and you can't tell if that's a faucet stem or a flange. With the Home Depot app, doing doesn't miss a beat. It'll find what you need in a snap, and it'll show you how to find it in store with a tap. Or get it delivered free. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
The biannual blowout is just a week away, and we've got a lot of work to do.
Keenan's Rug Emporium is rolling out a Labor Day bonanza.
Have that flatweed shipment coming in.
He needs 10 new sales associates as the crowds loom large.
Someone run a stock check on all the Moroccan 8x10s?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Will they find a home? Sponsored by Geico. Sarah wants a yard. My own little paradise. Brad, however, hates yard work.
The only thing I hate more than cutting the grass is paying someone to cut the grass.
Compromise is tough, but these two won't have to compromise when they bundle home and car insurance with Geico. It's easy, and they could save even more. In the end, Sarah and Brad found a great home with a yard. A very, very small yard.
Time to get it done. And I'm done.
Bundling without compromise at geico.com.
Here we go, in and out of the huddle.
Training camp is underway in the Music City.
We want to try to make sure that we're developing a team.
And we have you covered.
Could Peter Skoronsky be an option at tackle?
How quickly can DeAndre Hopkins get going? We'll be broadcasting live from training camp with the latest news and storylines from practice.
Ryan Tannehill in the last year of a contract. It's a different team. It's a different roster.
Training camp coverage is brought to you by the Simmons Bank Open, Caudle Vet Clinic, and Parman Energy on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. You're locked into Robby and Rexrode.
Every morning, first thing.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Sometimes he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. And sometimes he's just, well, Joe.
Awkward moment, let's do it.
This is the Rex Rant, now on Robby and Rexrode.
Coach, shut him up. Hard.
Time for the Rex Rant here on Robby and Rexrode. Joe Rexrode's rant of the day. Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
One of the best movies of all time.
It crosses so many things because people could think we might be talking about the Titans, but there's also high school football. We've also been talking about sports movies that are kind of more fantasy than reality. That's a big thing in the news these days.
There is some of that.
But I do want to talk specifically about high school football.
Okay.
It's on in full tonight. Look, I know I did this last year. It's a little different this year. I'm not going to spend, all season talking up Nolensville, except United, baby, and Fridays for Nights. I'm not going to do that all year. But I do want to quickly say it's different. I'm a varsity parent this year. Proud of my son, Brendan. He's worked very hard. Be pretty angry if he knew I was saying this. I'm sure he's not listening, so that's the good thing. But great job. Worked his butt off this summer. Keep that energy, save that energy. chores, math. There's other things you can see. There's a lot of things you can put that positive energy toward. But did a great job, and it's exciting. It's I've got butterflies already for tonight. Little Nolensville Rockvale, and I want to say Tom Krager, maybe a young Krager on the field too. So I got to text him after this. But I just want to say a few things to people before this gets going. Okay, to the kids, and I'm not talking about to one in particular, just to the kids in general. If you make a play, find your teammates and celebrate with your teammates. Enjoy your teammates. If your teammate makes a play, be just as excited for your teammate who made the play as you were for you who made the play. And think more about celebrating each other and being united, and less about trying to, make your opponent feel bad and taunt and do some dumb dance, okay? Parents, leave the coaches alone. It is not about your kids' playing time. Shut up about your kids' playing time. These people work their butts off. There's pressure on high school coaches. Let's not pretend that high school coaches are
especially
just
in football,
in some altruistic, they just go out and everybody's happy and everybody gets playing time. No, there's pressure to win. These people do, and I will raise my hand, these people work their butts off, and they, frankly, help parents parent, and I hope you all recognize that. Leave the coaches alone unless you want to say, thank you for taking my kid under your wing. Thank you for all the work you do. Do not want to hear. Just stop it about your kids' playing time, okay? Coaches, leave the officials alone. Those people work hard too. They take a lot of crap. Let's just let them go out there. They don't get paid a lot. It's a thankless job. It's hard to find officials. Anybody who's involved in high school sports will tell you it is very difficult to find people willing to do this, and so you got to respect them too. And officials, I want you to understand that you are mostly appreciated, okay? You really are. It's the silent masses that appreciate you, and I want you to not get mad at me when I yell at you for making a crap call this year. Thank you.
Maybe as soon as tonight.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, I'm trying to hold off till week 2, but
Look, I love this time of year. I have fond memories of high school football back in my days of high school, and it's just a really fun time around here. Starting time. I know some jamboree games have already started, and some games last night that counted for real. But last night, tonight, some people are playing tomorrow. It's been a really fun opening weekend of high school football here in the area. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier, Joe. But I think so. I graduated from Hendersonville in 2010, which in the grand scheme of things is not that long ago. The talent around here now for high school football is so much different than it was even 10, 15 years ago. And I think that's a testament to, number one, the coaching and the development of programs around here. Obviously, we've had a ton of people move into the area over the course of the last 10, 15 years, so more of a talent pool that's come in. But, Mark called in earlier about Oakland. I mean, they're an absolute powerhouse down there in Murfreesboro. The Rutherford County high school football is just nuts how good they are around here. Obviously up where I'm from in Sumner County, lots of really good programs up there too. The city of Nashville has got a lot of really good programs, private schools. Like it's a really fun area around here in high school football, and more, Joe, it's becoming more of an area that's really heavily recruited, not only by Tennessee and Vanderbilt, but nationwide around here in college from colleges around the country.
No doubt. It makes me think back to one of my first assignments at the Tennessee in the summer of 2016.
Oh, yeah?
It was what the heck were those Harbaugh camps called? The
satellite camps?
Yeah,
satellite camp.
Shirtless Harbaugh out there
yes.
being a total goofball. And it was like, wow, Harbaugh's getting serious in Tennessee. They've hit the area hard. I mean, the Big Ten is all over this place. And, our fantastic receiver from Nolensville last year, Chance Fitzgerald, went to my squad, Virginia Tech. So I was excited about it. I had nothing to do with that. There was no involvement, no booster involvement. But Michigan and Michigan State both offered him. We've talked about the number two ranked prospect in the 2026 class, which, by the way,
it's wild.
2026 class.
Yep.
Jeez. But no, it's fantastic. It's I think it's being able to go into some of the places too, some of the older stadiums, in the state. There's some just fantastic atmospheres. That's been here all along. Now the talent level has really taken a jump.
No question about it. And I remember it was a big deal back in the day. Like I remember Jalen Hurd getting recruited to Tennessee and Josh Malone out of station camp getting recruited to Tennessee, and it was like huge deal. There's like, wow, these guys are getting D1 offers around, and now like it feels like every program around here has got like one guy or two that's getting offered D1. We were talking about that with Junie before the show. It's just an incredible jump in talent around here, and high school football, it's really cool. Like when you're a town like a Nolensville or a Hendersonville, where I'm from, like kind of that smaller town vibe of the team and the community showing up on Friday nights, watching the team play. There's just something really cool about high school football that way.
It is really hard to top it. It's hard to match it. It's special for sure. So, so if you happen to be around Nolensville tonight, maybe a tailgate. Maybe catch me tailgating out there responsibly. I'll still be drinking this coffee.
You brought up an important point about the officials. Just chill on the officials a little bit. It's wild. I remember talking with some people last year that are heavily involved in high school football up in Sumner County, and having trying to find officials right now, really difficult thing to do.
Yeah, actually, football officiating is probably in some ways, I think it's harder for hoops officials because you can hear it's more close quarters and stuff like that, but it still gets ridiculous. And look, if there's a bad call and you're like, no, he was holding him. Whatever. I mean, in all seriousness, okay, fine. I mean, you can express your displeasure. If you're a coach, you're trying to campaign for calls and all that stuff. But the line crossing, to me, seems like it's just way more frequent and way, way more past the line than it used to be. Maybe it's old man yelling at cloud type stuff, but it feels that way to me.
What's been really fun to watch around here locally is I remember when I was playing back in the day, and when I was in school, the offenses that were run around here, we ran the wing tee. So it was okay, the wing tee. I was a split end, so
we ran the veer, by the way.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
I was a split end, so being a wide receiver / split end in a wing tee is a lot of run out there and block.
You're a fullback.
It'd be really, really fun.
You're a split out fullback.
Now, depending on which team you watch, it's full spread offense, no huddle, Josh Heupel type offense running out there. It's dramatically different than it was this time 10, 15 years ago.
It is. There are a few teams that still have an option kind of running offense, and those I love watching those, and I think those are more effective now because they're more rare.
And nobody plays them. Yeah,
that's what you love too about football is the variety of scheme.
No question about it. So I hope everyone has fun tonight. High school football, a beautiful time here in our area. Football season back in there. Titans in the preseason tomorrow against Minnesota. College football starting next week with Vanderbilt in Hawaii in week 0. Got Tennessee here in Nashville taking on Virginia after that. So exciting times with football season underway, and I hope everybody enjoys some high school football action tonight here in our area. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Coming up next, we'll be joined by Teron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD. He's been in Minnesota for Titans joint practices, and we'll be there for the game tomorrow too. So looking forward to that conversation with TD coming up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
All the big plays.
Touchdown, Tennessee!
All the big stories.
I fully expected DeAndre Hopkins wanting a one-year deal.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Touchdown, Tennessee!
You're going to make a trade like this.
Does he want to retire a Tennessee Titan?
The door's on the board.
Such superstar players.
The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
The path to the PGA Tour runs through Middle Tennessee. The Simmons Bank Open returns September 14th through 17th as part of the Korn Ferry Tour Finals. Catch all the exciting golf action and still not miss a minute of your favorite team's game in the Arctic Tailgate Village. Swing by the Sand Trap and take your shot at the famous floating Guitar Island Green while grabbing a bite from Hattie B's, Hogwood Barbecue, Dream Burger, and wash it down with a cold fashion from Nelson's Greenbrier. Purchase your tickets now at SimmonsBankOpen.com.
This summer, they are coming back.
You know where you are?
For you.
You're in the jungle, baby!
Guns N' Roses, live. North America 2023. Saturday, August 26th, Geodis Park. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Finally, back in North America. Don't miss Guns N' Roses.
Can we make 10,000 thread count sheets?
For Lens Linens, staying in the comfort zone is never an option.
Maximum thread count we could possibly thread.
An industrial seamstress would make their sweet dreams come true.
I want it to feel like you're on a snowflake, on cotton candy, on marshmallows, on a cloud.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At the Home Depot, we know pros want to be ready for whatever the job site has in store. That's why the Home Depot app is made for pros who don't miss a beat. So you can power your jobs with rentals to get the tools, trucks, and equipment you need fast. And Pro Extra benefits to keep your business growing. For doing that doesn't stop, download the Home Depot app. It's made for doing.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match, only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Your Game Center update.
This is Nick Keiser. The Tennessee Titans have concluded their practices against the Minnesota Vikings, but wide receiver Treylon Burks suffered a LCL sprain this week. So what did head coach Mike Vrabel have to say about Burks' injury?
Well, I think relieved. I think when you again, have that type of thing and you feel something and you just, I think relieved and, We'll rehab him, and I know he'll work hard to get back, and when he's ready to come back out, he'll help us.
And high school football is back in Tennessee as the Mount Juliet Golden Bears took down the Cane Ridge Ravens 31-28 last night to kick off the 2023 regular season. And hey, Preds fans, hockey season is coming up as the Preds single-game tickets are now on sale as of yesterday for the 23-24 season. The home opener for Nashville is on October 12th versus the Seattle Kraken. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
For more, follow us on Twitter at 1025 The Game or visit theGameNashville.com. Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 1025 and 1063.
And a score!
You can run different offenses.
The doors on the board.
Off the field, on the field.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Mixing sports and a little bit of fun.
This is fun!
On your morning drive. This is Robby and Rexrode. With Robby Stanley and Joe Rexrode. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. On Nashville's best sports talk. 1025 and 1063 The Game. And on the Game Nashville app.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
ESPN's Turon Davenport. Talking Titans. Now. On Robby and Rexrode. On ESPN. 1025 The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
It is that time of the week here on Robby and Rexrode. Time to welcome in our friend Turon Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, host of Talking with TD. Let's go to our 1025 The Game phone line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, and welcome in TD, who is live up in Minnesota. TD, good morning. How we doing?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. And Robby, congratulations. Welcome back.
Thanks, brother.
I know life has changed. Enjoy it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about that. I appreciate that, man. I hear maybe some Mall of America plans for TD later today?
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do. I wanted to go to, for instance, Paisley Park, but, man, there were no tickets available for today, so won't be doing that. Go to the Twins game later and just relax, man.
Nice. Very nice. That sounds like a good day up there in Minnesota. No question about that. TD, what stood out to you about the Titans and Vikings beyond the injuries, which we'll get to in just a second, but on the field between the Titans and the Vikings the last 2 days at joint practices?
Yeah, I think, it's the defense, man. I got to watch them yesterday, and that pass rush is ridiculous. I mean, when you look at Harold Landry and Arden Key, you got Danico Autry as well as Jeffrey Simmons, man. Those guys, they all ate. They had a really good showing. And even Tier Tart, in the one-on-ones, man, he was dominating. So I think that stood out. Aziz Al-Shire, he's just becoming a player that is like David Long. Every time I say the name, I smile because I love guys that play like they're literally on fire. And that's how he plays. Watching that was good. And then Christian Fulton in the secondary, he had a really good couple of practices. So that stood out the most to me. I think, it's still some things to be concerned about with the offensive line, especially the reserve group. But the most thing was the defense. It held its own, and I think it's going to be really good.
TD, we were talking about this earlier. How literally should we take Mike Vrabel when he says best case scenario about Traylon Burks? Because I could look at it one of two ways. One is, it wasn't disaster, so it's best case scenario. It's the opposite of disaster. It just wasn't or like if you really want to look at an LCL sprain and say best case scenario, that could be like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like how literally should we take that?
Yeah, I think what he said, and usually he doesn't really talk about injuries that much, and he did say his standard. I'm not going to put a timeline on it, and the report is 3 to 4 weeks. But I think when you use the word best case scenario, you use the word relieved. I think those are the type of things to make you have a positive outlook on what it was. I mean, look, I remember back in I think it was 97, Jerry Rice, right? He had a similar type of fall. He came right down on that knee, and he, dislocated kneecap and ACL, and it was a bunch of stuff. So that could have been the case. They just had a sprained LCL in this, so I think it is something to look at. Hey, look, that is a best-case scenario. He's going to get hurt. The injury happened, but it wasn't as bad to where it cost him the full year, and he's going to rehab, and I would imagine they expect him back before the season opener.
TD, you bring up the defense, and Christian Fulton, when he's been available, has been a good player throughout his career to this point.
Yeah.
How much of a step forward does it look like he may be taking this year in your mind?
The biggest thing for me with Christian Fulton is him being dialed in all the time and being available all the time. This guy's been on the field each and every time they practice, which is not something that you've seen in the past. And then there's also a level of confidence with him. He's talking a lot more. I mean, there were a couple times he had some PBUs, and the way they had it set up is there's stands in the end zone, and the fans are there. And he had a couple of PBUs, and he looked at the group of fans that were there. He gave him the Kumo D, arms crossed, how you like me now, a couple of times. And I like that.
Yeah, he may not have called it the Kumo D, but we know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
So on Fulton, we were talking, and we've talked about this before, TD. The idea, what if he's healthy? What if he has this great year? Like how did the Titans start looking at like, man, maybe it's worth really talking about locking him up? But the future of that position. Also, Sean Murphy-Bunting, like, what do you think of him so far? Because he's kind of on this kind of prove it year. Still young guy. I think he's been solid. Like, how do you view those two outside corners and, like, what the Titans may be thinking about the future of the position?
Yeah, Sean Murphy-Bunting is just he's a veteran, and he just continues to go out there and match up against, DeAndre Hopkins. He had to match up against Justin Jefferson a couple times this week, and he's held his own. And I think just being a steady player that you could trust out there, that in itself is enough. So for me, when I look at him, that's the way I view it. And I think he's a guy that they should look at bringing back. But obviously, you're going to have to see how this year plays out. But he gives them a veteran. Like, he's probably he and Chris have been in the league about the same amount of time. So when you look at that, they give them the veterans in the group. And Rodgers McCreary has had a pretty solid camp, and the past joint practices he played pretty well too. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and act like Justin Jefferson didn't get him, because Justin Jefferson got all three of those guys, and KJ Osborne did the same thing. So, they didn't dominate and shut everything down. But those three guys, I think it's a solid group of young players. And, after that, you got Trey Avery, Eric Garrer. I think they do need to look at adding some corners in the draft or even another free agent if they're not able to bring back Murphy Bunting.
Teron Davenport with us here on Robby and Rexrode. So, TD, obviously, Will Levis leaving practice early yesterday. What do you make of that situation, and what kind of an opportunity, if it's the Malik Willis show and he's playing the whole game tomorrow, what kind of an opportunity do you think this could be for him tomorrow in the second preseason game in Minnesota?
Yeah, I was really surprised to hear Mike Vrabel tell us that Levis left early, because the way they have it on this field, like you could get a guy off the field and you wouldn't even know. I remember in the 2-minute drill seeing only Tannehill and Willis, but it didn't occur to me like, oh, wow, Levis, where's Levis? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for Vrabel to let us know that, I thought that's another change when it comes to injuries. He normally, if it can fly under the radar, it will. So from what I understand, it's a lower body injury. I don't have any specifics on what it was. Paul Kaharski had first found that out, and then I was able to confirm it. And they're basically going to see if he could go on Saturday. And if he can't, it looks like it's going to be the Malik Willis show. And this is a great opportunity for Willis to show that he could just have the operation of a full game down pat. There was a little bit of an issue yesterday in the 1-minute period where, he has to remember, how things work after a dead ball foul. You know what I mean? So you got to remember that the clock starts on the ready, and you can't get to delay a game like he did last Saturday. So Willis, for me, it's just an opportunity just to show the operation. But obviously he has to go out there and make some plays, and I think he could do that. And just being able to get into a full rhythm, I think will be really good as opposed to rotating series.
So, TD, let's say Malik Willis twists an ankle tomorrow night.
Yeah.
What do the Titans do at quarterback the rest of the game?
If
Levis isn't playing.
That's what I was wondering. I guess that's something that we'll see who's the designated, emergency quarterback. I remember in the past it was Darius Jennings. Kevin Byard, maybe he'll have to go back to his, lefty laser days at High School in Atlanta.
Turn around and hand that ball off. Head on back to the house. TD, last thing for you here. Obviously a lot of work done for the veterans in the joint practice session, so I don't know how many of them we're going to see in the game tomorrow, but what are a couple of things that stand out to you that are most interesting to you as the preseason game number 2 is underway tomorrow?
Yeah, I think, Andre Dillard continuing to work through. I think that has stood out, something I'll continue to watch. That offensive line, I think, will go out and play. That's something, the position next to Alshire is one that it has been up for grabs. I think Jack Gibbons is closing in on that. Monty Rice wasn't available either in the last 2 days, so that's something to keep in mind. So there's some of the position battles. That's really the main thing for me. And I want to see the young receivers also. Reggie Robertson, he didn't get a chance to stand out in last week's game. Can you do that this week? Trayshawn Harrison, Gavin Holmes is coming along as well. So there's a nice group of young receivers that I think will be fun to watch and see how they can stand out and transfer what they've done in practice to the game.
Actually, one more quick one, TD. David on the text line asked us to ask you, local media around there, any interesting comments about the Titans, any conversations or things that they've written or said about the Titans?
Yeah, a couple of the guys I talked to were pretty surprised at the energy that they brought right away and the physical style of play. They were surprised by that, and they really liked the defensive line. That's really the main thing.
TD, have yourself a wonderful day in Minnesota today. Enjoy the game tomorrow, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, now appreciate it. You guys take it easy.
Absolutely, you as well. Teron Davenport, our guest here on Robby and Rexrode, up live from Minnesota, has been a part of Titans-Vikings joint practice the last couple of days. We'll be there in Minnesota tomorrow for the preseason game. So looking forward to his coverage on that. We'll take your thoughts on the Titans. 615-737-1025 is our phone number on our phone and text lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. More on that coming up next. Make sure you join us here at 102.5-106.3 The Game at Door Jam this Saturday, celebrating Vanderbilt sports at the David Williams Recreation Center. The fun kicks off at 2 p.m. and will include autograph sessions, photo booths, lawn games, and more. Head on out there to support Vanderbilt athletics as fall sports return here in just a few weeks. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
94.9 The Fan is your home for Hit City.
Tonight, your Nashville Sounds continue their 6-game series at First Horizon Park against Charlotte. He gloves, grabs, guns, gets them, and the Sounds win again. Pre-game at 6:20.
Nashville Sounds baseball on 94.9 The Fan and the Fan app.
We buy any car. Why sell your car at WeBuyAnyCar.com? Because when you trade in, you're dealing with a dealer. And sure, they're interested in a good deal. For them, not for you. Come to WeBuyAnyCar.com instead. All we do is buy cars. You get in, get out, and get paid at a fair price. So don't take chances with a trade-in. Go to WeBuyAnyCar.com for a free online valuation.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
Genesis Diamond's most extreme value on diamonds is coming to an end. You have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to get the price of a lifetime on a certified GIA diamond ring.
Response has been incredible. People have driven for hours to buy like a dealer buys. All GIA certified diamond rings are on sale. A full 20% discount off Genesis' amazing everyday value price.
We're talking values you never thought possible. From a half carat to 20 carat diamonds, all hand-picked for maximum brilliance and all graded by the most prestigious gem lab in the world.
Don't be surprised to see jewelry store owners and diamond dealers shopping alongside you.
Genesis has the largest GIA diamond selection you've ever seen. Rounds, ovals, radiance, cushion cuts, pear shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts.
And now through Sunday, you can take advantage of this rare buying opportunity. Limit one per customer, please.
Get the Genesis no middleman direct importer price minus an extra 20% on all GIA diamond engagement rings. Now through Sunday only at Genesis Diamonds.
Green Hills and Cool Springs.
See store for details.
Hey home buyers, TJ Anderson here. Are you looking for a luxury home on over an acre, 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, and close to 7,000 square feet? 6551 Brownlee Drive in Nashville's Westmead neighborhood offers that and a 4th car garage, all by an award-winning builder. Text the number 1 to 615-420-2377 for pricing and info. Want your home on the radio? Google TJ Anderson Homes and see why we are referred by clients so often. TJ Anderson Homes at Benchmark Realty, office number 615-432-2919.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Pennzoil Platinum can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP extended life oil filter for only $35.99. Get started on your next job today with the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's gonna fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Want to see our smiling faces? You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
We are good to go.
Presented by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode.
It's part of this nutritious breakfast.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
TD, what stood out to you about the Titans and Vikings beyond the injuries, which we'll get to in just a second, but on the field between the Titans and the Vikings the last 2 days at joint practices?
Yeah, I think, it's the defense, man. I got to watch them yesterday, and that pass rush is ridiculous. I mean, when you look at Harold Landry and Arden Key, you got Danico Autry as well as Jeffrey Simmons, man. Those guys, they all ate. They had a really good showing. And even Tier Tharp, in the one-on-ones, man, he was dominating. So I think that stood out. Azeez Al-Shire, he's just becoming a player that it's like David Long. Every time I say the name, I smile because I love guys that play like they're literally on fire, and that's how he plays. Watching that was good. And then Christian Fulton in the secondary, he had a really good couple of practices. So that stood out the most to me. I think, it's still some things to be concerned about with the offensive line, especially the reserve group. But the most thing was the defense. It held its own, and I think it's going to be really good.
That was Teron Davenport on with us in the last segment. Appreciate him taking time to be with us this morning. Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. We are streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Our video streaming brought to you by Superbook. Live from our 102.5 The Game studio, Nick Keyser holding down the fort. Brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. I got some tickets to give away, a 4-pack of tickets to PBR Stampede Days at Bridgestone Arena coming up tomorrow. Be caller number 3, 615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. Caller number 3 will win a pair of tickets, a 4-pack of tickets to PBR Stampede Days tomorrow at Bridgestone Arena. So 615-737-1025, our phone number. We're live out here in Lebanon at Duncan, the grand opening of the new Duncan off Highway 109, 350 Highway 109 North. DJ Burnside, Joe, already coming out here and winning the cornhole boards this morning. So shout out to DJ Burnside.
I mean, and he let it rip.
He did.
He let it rip. What was it again? It was.
I'm pumped for pumpkin.
Pumped for pumpkin. It was
loud.
He
top of his lungs.
He earned those cornhole boards. Those are some nice boards too.
Nice boards, no question about that. We're out here today here in Lebanon at Duncan. Hendersonville coming up on Monday will be on Indian Lake Boulevard on Monday in Hendersonville from their Duncan location as well. Pumpkin is in. Sign up for rewards and receive $5 gift cards and fun Duncan giveaways while supplies last. I had a lot of people out here today at the Duncan grand opening here in Lebanon off Highway 109. So having a great time. Come on out. We'll be out for the rest of the show here today as well. Junie Riddle outside with some giveaways as well. So lots of fun out here at Duncan off Highway 109 here in beautiful Lebanon, Tennessee. Joe, one thing that stood out to me from TD, and it makes me kind of think back to the conversation we were having a few weeks ago when camp first began was, all right, is this more of a commentary on the Titans' defense and how good they are with how much they're dominating the Titans' offensive line and how good they look, or was that a commentary on the Titans' offensive line and maybe how much they've been struggling and how much work they have left to do? Now, maybe it's a little bit of both, and we'll still wait to see what that looks like, but by all indications, the TD laid it out there in that clip we just played. Really impressive stuff from the Titans defense the last 2 days at joint practices in Minnesota. And it just feels like the Titans defense, as we sit here today on August 18th, they got a whole lot of momentum with the starters heading into this season.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it is. I think it's still a little bit of both. But it's probably tilted a little bit more toward the D-line is terrific. And I think even though I don't know who's out there for the Vikings tomorrow night, there'll be at least some twos. If they have another good showing, then maybe you feel a little bit more that way. Like I'm confident in saying Simmons, Autry in their best form, Landry back, and Arden Key. I mean, you can't ignore Arden Key. I think right now Arden Key, as huge as Hopkins was, huge signing without question. Arden Key has a case as the best ad of the offseason. And, of course, he's also, given how he's played, it's a pretty good bargain, too. I think he got 13 guaranteed. So, I mean, it's not a small investment. But, I mean, when the Titans gave Arden Key that contract, there was a little bit of an eyebrow raising around the league. Like, yeah. I mean, I wasn't sure. I was like, yeah, I mean, I thought he was pretty good last year with Jacksonville. But, yeah, is he worth that? I think you're seeing that, like, they believe he can be an every down guy and a difference maker. So plug him into what they hoped Bud Dupree was going to give them for a lot of money over the past few years. But remember back to 2 years ago in those stretches when Bud Dupree was healthy with Landry, Simmons, Autry going. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs couldn't, and I understand that they've improved their line quite a bit since then, but they could not block them. It was a joke. I mean, it was – the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, we're talking about the best team in the NFL, the best offense in the NFL, and they had no chance 2 years ago against 3 of those 4 guys. And I think that, Autry would be the one guy you'd look at and say, okay, at what point does he start to fade a little bit?
Right.
It doesn't look like it's right now. Simmons has gotten better since then, I would say, as long as he's healthy. Landry has gotten better since then. So if you really look at the track records here, like, yeah, they should be really good. And this is probably the biggest thing that people who think this team's going to be bad have missed. And I don't really understand. There's really no excuse for missing it that badly.
I got to say, I'm really, I guess impressed is probably the right word, surprised as well, that Landry has been as available as he's been in training camp at this point, coming off the ACL. And I realize, we're closing in on a full calendar year since he tore the ACL. So he's had a lot of time to recover, and, he's talked about the rehab process and how his knee is stronger than it's ever been at this point. So, but I have been, I guess, a little bit surprised of how much they've just let him go in camp so far and how available and consistent he's been, which, I have to take as a great sign for the Titans moving forward into the season.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's the thing. That's when you get you tear it in August previous year, you have a full calendar year. Like you hope that would be the case. But, yeah, I'm kind of with you. I still thought maybe Vrabel would be like, yeah, let's just go ahead and, take it easy. And they've let him get a lot of reps. So that is positive. On the injury front, I did want to get to this from Joel on the text line, driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com. He said, so why tell us Burks has a specific LCL injury but leave Levis as just a lower body injury? Okay, so first of all, the Titans have not put out a press release. It's LCL, and Vrabel's not out there saying LCL.
Right, that was Ian Rappaport.
So what happens is you got a significant player with what looks like maybe a season-ending injury. So a guy like Rappaport, and Rappaport and Schefter, I think they get most of their stuff from agents, but regardless, that's a potentially big news story. So they go after that big news story, and a source tells Rappaport LCL, right?
Yeah.
And then people confirm it. With unnamed sources. Levis right now is, again, that might be a mild ankle turn.
Well, it sounds like from TD's perspective that they're going to see whether or not he can play tomorrow.
Yeah. So it's just not the same thing. Like the interest level in what looks like a very minor injury then just becomes like, people aren't all over what it is. Look, someone may get that today, that information, and report it, but it's obviously minor, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't even rise to the level of people chasing the news. So that's basically why, Joel. But again, the Titans aren't out here giving any information. Mike Mularkey would have, but Mike Vrabel does now. Although, like TD said, he's talking more like injury. Shoot, for all I know, by September, Vrabel will start showing us X-rays. But at this point, it's not happening.
Well, I was gonna say Vrabel's never gonna get up there and to talk about injuries and in terms of like the specifics of what the injury is. But maybe it's a new year for Mike Vrabel.
Maybe he just loves media more and more. I think that's possible.
He sat down on Bussin' with the boys last month, and he was there for like 2 hours. Can you imagine him doing a 2-hour interview with you?
With us? Remember that interview we had with him?
Oh, yeah, I do.
He had a blast.
He had a real good time.
He had the time of his life.
Mike, looking forward to talking to you down the road again. Probably not. All righty. And so far he's been right.
Yeah. I don't know if we've asked. I guess we should probably ask. Let him say no, right?
I'm sure he'd love to come on our show. I'm sure that he has been waiting for the phone call.
I'm gonna start badgering him. Come on the show again. How about that?
He's looking at Titans PR. Robby Bourne of Titans.
Yeah, other Robby.
Winter Robby and Rexrode calling me back to go on the program.
He's staring at the phone longingly.
615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll take more of your thoughts on the Titans in advance of their preseason game tomorrow against Minnesota. By the way, let's call for another round of 4-pack for PBR Stampede Days at Bridgestone Arena coming up tomorrow. Caller number 3, 615-737-1025, our phone number. Had a couple people call in, and we're not eligible to win. So if you haven't won anything in the last 30 days with us, give us a call, 615-737-1025. If you win, you win a 4-pack of tickets to PBR Stampede Days coming up at Bridgestone Arena tomorrow. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
It's a long summer. But don't worry. Hockey will be back soon. You'll hear every slap shot, save, hit, and of course,
knocked down in front, rebound, and the score!
On your home for Smashville, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Is it October yet?
Hang on.
It's going to be a wild ride. The PBR team's champions, the Nashville Stampede, are coming home in a run to defend their title.
Yo, we coming.
Stampede Days, August 18th through 20th at Bridgestone Arena. Heart-pounding action you don't want to miss. Tickets start at $20. Get yours today at PBR.com or Ticketmaster.com.
Yo, we coming.
Join us for the ride.
33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Electronic Express. These deals are so hot they only last 33 hours. Get a TCL 55-inch 4K TV only $269, or an Avanti laundry pair just $379 each. Save up to 50% on 4K TVs, computers, Bluetooth speakers, appliances, and more. Don't miss out on an Avanti top freezer refrigerator only $499, or a Lenovo laptop for only $349. 33 hours of savings this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Real estate investors, get ready for an incredible opportunity. D&M Development is thrilled to announce the Phase 1 presale of 16 non-owner occupied short-term rentals in Nashville's exclusive resort-style community, the New Cumberland. Nestled between Germantown and East Nashville, this exceptional location offers stunning views of the city and the Cumberland River. Each unit features spacious kitchens, 4 bedrooms, and 4 baths, providing the ultimate luxury experience for your guests. Resort-style pools and a wide range of amenities. Don't miss out on this exclusive investment chance. Visit thenewcumberland.com for more information and secure your spot in this extraordinary community.
Honey, what's an 8-letter word for difficult to explain?
When we planned on retiring, we never planned on Medicare being so confusing.
What's a 6-letter word for special skills or knowledge?
Fortunately, Farm Bureau Health Plans is an expert on all things Medicare. With 75 years of helping Tennesseans, they helped us understand our Medicare options.
Why are these things so complicated?
Talk to your local representative or visit fbhp.com. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us.
Check, check. You might already know about the Acura MDX. V6 engine, seat 7. We have an announcement. We swapped that engine with a specially made 3-liter turbo V6, race-tuned the steering and suspension, and for the first time, added Type S performance to an SUV. So we're just gonna drop this right here. The Acura MDX and first ever MDX Type S. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Experience the thrill at Gary Force Acura, proud sponsor of the Nashville Predators. TennesseeAcura.com.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
One is a legendary NFL wide receiver.
I gotta be prepared. I have to be ready.
One is a legendary Nashville voice.
You don't have to rely on carrying the ball 250 to 300 times.
And the other has been a legendary trash talker on the playground since the 4th grade.
Nobody is a Pro Bowler on day 1 of rookie minicamp.
They are Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. Weekdays at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Laura Rutledge from the SEC Network, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
I'm like a cockroach.
Welcome back in, Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty. Check out their new luxury listing at 6551 Brownlee at tjandersonhomes.com. We were ditched by Paul Koharski from paulkoharski.com today. He was scheduled to join us at 8:30, and a flight delay has now made that impossible.
Yeah, so he wants us to call out the specific airline for that. You know, he's big on, calling out companies by name, which I typically try not to do unless it's really severe. So I'm not going to do that. Right now, the segment written on our grid is why Paul Koharski sucks. But I guess we can talk about something
we can break that down step by step if you want to.
Thanks for nothing, Paul. Hope you have a great day on your little flight home, Paul.
DirecTV ain't anything, right?
That wasn't your best one.
I wasn't trying to impersonate him.
Oh, okay. All right. Just checking.
Yeah.
By the way, your favorite game, Silly Underdog Picks, is back. Sign up today at thegamenashville.com or the 102.5 The Game app. Silly Underdog Picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. So the Titans heading into the game tomorrow. You had the Trailenberg stuff that's gone down this week. Will Levis leaving practice early yesterday with a lower body injury. if it is the Malik Willis show tomorrow and Levis can't go, and it's just going to be Willis the whole game, how big of an opportunity do you think this is for him in the race for quarterback number 2 in terms of what this could mean for him in the final competition? Obviously, a very limited sample size in the preseason. You get 3 games if you're a backup quarterback to show yourself. If Levis misses tomorrow, how do you think this affects the backup quarterback competition?
Well, it's just an opportunity. I think more than anything, it's an opportunity taken away from Levis, and then obviously, and of course, it's more opportunity for Willis. Now, granted, I guess you could look at it like more opportunity to potentially struggle too. You got to play well, but Levis, to the point we talked this week about like Tim Hasselbeck's analysis on SportsCenter, which I thought was a little strong. That Levis was kind of like the disappointment for him and the rookies, but the point was he actually got put into one of those situations you can't guarantee someone will get, and he almost made like one of those plays. It's like, okay, you can see it. Didn't quite make it. So I get that, and that's the thing. It's like, what are your opportunities now? I mean, you got every day in practice that you go out there, you're being evaluated. That counts, of course. There is still a little bit of a difference. It's counted a little bit differently when you're operating an actual offense in an actual game, even if it's not, even if it's preseason level. So, I mean, to me, I'd tilt things a little bit Malik's way, just based on well, let's see how he plays.
Yeah.
But this could potentially do that, and obviously, if this is one of those things where whatever it is, lower body, I don't know, you twist an ankle and you're out a week, I mean, those are a lot of reps you lose, obviously.
Well, and to that point, I mean, if things go well for the Titans this year, that probably means Tannehill is healthy for all 17 games, and he's your starter, and you're not having to play Willis or Levis. So in terms of development, these are valuable reps for Levis to get in game action because, if things go well, he may not be in game action again until next season. So I'm really interested to see how serious is this injury, how much does he try to give it a go tomorrow. If it's not that serious, how cautious are the Titans with his injury? Because I don't think the backup quarterback competition is solely coming down to tomorrow's game against Minnesota. But to your point, I mean, it's valuable reps for Malik Willis if he's the one that's in the game the whole time tomorrow. And we'll see what he does with it. The Titans, I am interested in. TD said that he expects that the starting offensive line could get some reps. I think that's a good idea. I understand that you've had 2 joint practices now with the Vikings, and most of your veterans and your starters are probably not playing tomorrow, which I think makes a lot of sense if you're Vrabel and the Titans. I would like to see the offensive line in there. I think the more reps they can get, we talked about that earlier this week, the better off they're going to be. And maybe they're not going to be going up against starters tomorrow. I don't care. Just get them out there, get them some reps together, and hopefully you can develop some confidence on your starting offensive line. And maybe it's 2-3 series. It doesn't have to be a whole lot, but get them in the game and get them playing. I'd like to see them out there tomorrow.
Yeah, look, there's a different level of energy still that I think comes from being in a stadium and you're playing against a team in its own home stadium. You got fans on hand, the lights are on. And these are guys, if you're playing twos, these are guys who are trying to make a team. These are guys who are trying to get their way onto the depth chart, beating the rotation, whatever it is. They're still NFL players. And the timing, all that stuff, it all matters, the technique. So, yeah, I think it's worthwhile. It's not really that much more injury risk than a practice for offensive linemen. So let it rip. Give them the half, I say. They won't, but that's what I say.
What about the kicking competition? Thank you. What about the kicking competition tomorrow? You've got, obviously, Trey Wolf, who missed a kick last week in Chicago. Caleb Shudak, who is, nobody's really separating themselves right now in the competition. Now, apparently, it's not been a great week for the kickers up there in Minnesota. Now, the wind was swirling around a couple days ago, and everybody was talking about that and maybe how that was affecting the quarterback. So if you're talking about it with quarterbacks, obviously there's some kicking conversation that has to come in with it. But I said this earlier in the show, and I stand by it. Other than Malik Willis / Will Levis at quarterback tomorrow against Minnesota, second most thing I'm watching for is the kicking. And can somebody take charge of this job, be that Trey Wolf or Caleb Shudak? Or do you get through the end of the preseason game tomorrow and you look at the way that they're striking the ball, and if you're Vrabel looking around saying, man, I just don't know, man. I don't know about these kickers. I'll be watching them pretty closely tomorrow against Minnesota.
It's huge for both of them. Are they going to keep alternating them? If one of them gets more than the other, I guess that might tell you something, I guess. Well, although it's funny because you could always look at it both ways on that too. It's like, okay, Trey, we're really worried about him. Prove that you should stay on this team.
Right.
It's like Julius Chestnut getting one special teams snap last week. That's not how they view him. I think if he makes his team, it's because of special teams. So they were looking at other guys. But I'm assuming they're going to rotate the kickers. And the Titans really need one of these guys to all of a sudden just build that confidence and just get more consistent. But, I mean, sometimes – I mean, it's – look, we always talk about how hard it is to be quarterback in the NFL. You know, very few people are good at that job in the world or could even be good at that job in the world. You know, very few people can consistently kick field goals at this level too. And I feel right now like it's trending toward the Titans getting back out on the veteran carousel and signing somebody out. Randy,
come on back.
We were wrong, Randy. It's not you, it's us. Come back.
And how quickly, if that's going to be the way they go, obviously by the time the regular season comes around, there will still be veteran kickers that are out there and that are available and that are unsigned. Now then the question becomes, well, why are they unsigned at this point? Is it age? You know, Mason Crosby is a guy that comes to mind. You know, Ryan Suckup is out there. I don't know if he plans on continuing to play football or not. I don't know what his plans look like. But that's the thing. Like, if you've got kickers that are out there and available right now that are veterans, they're probably out there and available for a reason. And I know they went this route with Steven Gostkowski a couple of years ago, but it doesn't really feel like there's a Steven Gostkowski that's out there and available right now. So, like, the Titans really need one of these two to work out, because if they don't, I just don't think there's very many good options after that.
No, I think they're just going to be, they're going to be back on that, whatever it is. It's nothing great. I mean, Suckup is interesting. Obviously, he started to fade there, and the Titans thought he was fading way earlier than he actually did.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's not the craziest idea. But if they go this route, then next year they're going to try again. Maybe at some point you have to use a draft pick. But like as you talked about earlier in the show today, Robbie, I mean not like they got 11 picks next year, and the drafted kickers really historically. Even think of some of the high drafted kickers in recent years and how badly that's gone for those teams. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to find one, but it is. I mean, look, it's kind of like the injury thing. Everybody talks about the training staff and all this stuff with the injuries, and look, it's fair to ask all those questions. To me, it's more like you got to really, in terms of acquiring guys, you got to think more in terms of not having injury histories if possible. I mean, I think the last front office went a little bit too far with that. Kicker, they've had some good guys in here who are good NFL kickers now, and they let them go. I mean, I can't blame you for letting Cairo Santos go, and he misses 4 field goals, 2 short ones against Buffalo.
No, but it's clear they gave up on Suckup too soon.
Well, and they brought him back too soon.
Yeah,
they messed that up a lot. Greg Joseph, that's the thing. Greg Joseph was also, I thought, underwhelming here, but they'd love him now.
Yeah. Suckup last year with Tampa, he made 31 of 38 field goals. He was only 2 of 7 beyond 50, and he was, 7 of 12 from 40 to 49. So that's why he's probably not having a job at this point. He was automatic almost from basically 40 in, but 40 to 49 last year, 7 of 12, and 50-plus, 2 of 7 for Suckup last year.
So that means he missed 10. What was the total number?
It says 31 to 38.
Yeah, those numbers don't add up. You said he missed 5 from 40 to 49 and 5 from –
I did say that. I'm just going Pro Football Reference. I'm just telling you what it says.
We are giving you bad math. Because the thing is –
No, I'm an idiot. I can't read. He was 2 of 7 from 50-plus, and he was 12 of 12, 40 to 49.
Okay.
Never mind.
Yeah, well, you know what? Okay. Well, that's would you not take that? I mean, the thing is, he made 2. Like, they didn't even try with Randy.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's still a lock up to 49, I think we've figured out. I think we've found an answer for the Titans.
He was 10 of 11 from 20 to 29, 7 of 8 from 30 to 39, 12 of 12, 40 to 49, and 2 of 7, 50-plus.
Sign him up.
Hey.
How old is he?
I think he's 36.
I mean, Messi's the greatest athlete and famous person ever. He's 36.
Yeah, Suckup's 36.
Get in here, Suckup.
615-737.
Come home, Ryan.
I'm really disappointed in myself that I couldn't read a bar graph right there. It was fun.
That was good under pressure. Like you were, you got it right, man.
615-737-1025, our phone number, 615-737-1025. We'll take more of your thoughts on the Titans, their preseason matchup against Minnesota. We'll get more into Nashville SC hosting Lionel Messi and Inter Miami coming up tomorrow. High school football happening tonight. A smorgasbord of sports topics up next. This is Robby and Rexrode, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every Wednesday at 8:30. Join Robby and Rexrode for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The choice is yours. Wednesdays at 8:30 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
This is Evan Bass for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. For most of us, sex is a big part of our relationship. So when something like erectile dysfunction starts affecting intimacy, it can be a real problem. But what you may not know is that ED doesn't just affect you, it can be tough on your partner as well. Plus, if you have ED, you know how it can make you feel. The truth is, we see a lot of guys who have depression, frustration, and even relationship issues because of ED. But we don't want ED to impact you or the one you love anymore. The Tennessee Men's Clinic tackles ED. Our urologists and medical providers take a comprehensive approach and have treated thousands of men with treatments that are successful in nearly 90% of cases. Even if your hormones are off, or if pills, wave therapy, or other treatments have left you hanging, the Tennessee Men's Clinic will work hard to help you get your sex life back, perhaps performing like you haven't in a long time. So call us. Your first appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. We have 2 offices in Midtown and Franklin.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects. Treatments extra, results vary.
Hey folks, Joe Rexrode here. I want you to know Twin Peaks is the place for your fantasy football draft party. It's about that time of year, right? And the Twin Peaks Draft Party Package gives league commissioners and its members an elevated, easy experience, great beer, fantastic food, Paul Karhusky's big on the pot roast, and scenic views. At Twin Peaks, your draft party package includes a draft board, player stickers, $50 bonus commissioner card, $5 bonus card per league member, and a premium table reservation with Wi-Fi. Get to Twin Peaks this year for your fantasy football draft party. Locations in Madison and Cool Springs.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway. Now here's Jim Mitchell.
At Mitchell's Mr. Transmission, we also offer free towing with any major repairs. If your vehicle has a breakdown and you should need any type towing is available through Dad's Towing Service. Dad's is a professional towing company in Nashville that provides all types towing and recovery, 24 hours a day.
You know it's going to happen, and when your car needs service or repair, remember Mitchell's Mr. Transmission on Gallatin Road, just north of Briley Parkway.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up AutoSave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
AutoSave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New home. New energy. Same Blue Raiders.
99 yards! Touchdown, Middle Tennessee!
Catch every game for MTSU on 93.3 Classic Hits. Coach Rick Stockstill is poised to lead his team to yet another bowl appearance.
We're really excited about this opportunity.
Your home for the Blue Raiders is 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app. You're listening to Robby and Rexrode, presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Joel 102.5, 106.3, the game this Sunday for MTSU Athletics Fan Day. Fans come out to see the football, volleyball, track and field teams as fall season is just weeks away. You can get autographs, enjoy live music, along with inflatables, face painting, balloon artists for the kids, and more. The fun will be at Floyd Stadium from 3 to 5 coming up this Sunday. Make sure you check that out. You won't want to miss it. We are back live here at Duncan here in Lebanon, 350 Highway 109 North. Lots of people rolling in here today for the Duncan. DJ Burnside, our winner earlier from the cornhole boards, and he's struck again on Twitter.
Yeah, this is pretty good. So earlier we were talking about Lionel Messi and the historical context of him playing in Nashville, some of the great sports stars, but also some of the just great famous people. I mean, Taylor Swift, like that's a comparison to Lionel Messi.
Oh yeah.
One of them that I brought up was Michael Jackson, and we talked about this previously, but Michael Jackson had never played Nashville like after he became the global superstar he was, but the Victory Tour did go to Neyland Stadium in 1984. 148,000 freaking people were there on hand. And so DJ Burnside has put together Michael Jackson in front of the Power T, and the words are Power T. Good job, DJ.
It's pretty good.
Yes.
It's pretty well done by DJ Burnside. By the way, quick housekeeping announcement. The Robby and Rexrode Fantasy Football League. We've had a lot of people asking about the Robby and Rexrode Fantasy Football League. We have had 2 seasons of that to this point. Yours truly was the champion in year 1. Brennan Rexrode, the champion in year 2.
It feels like we're cheating.
We've yet to have a listener win, so maybe year 3 is the time. We are going to begin giving away slots for the Robby and Rexrode Fantasy Football League next week. Okay. So all week next week, make sure you are tuned in. We will be giving away spots for the Robby and Rexrode Fantasy Football League. We're working on draft details and locations, and Twin Peaks is going to be our location for that. But make sure that you tune in for that. If you're interested in joining the Robby and Rexrode Fantasy Football League, we will have spots to give away on that front next week. So looking forward to that.
Just wait till you get the scenic view of my lineup. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be pretty epic to watch what happens on that front. Joe, rapid fire here. Your final thoughts on the Titans and the Vikings. What are we looking for tomorrow in the second preseason game as the Titans are still in Minnesota?
Yeah, one's O-line. I'd say the receiver battle at the bottom, Racy McMath, Trayshawn Harrison, Reggie Roberson.
Colton Dowell.
Yeah, that's true. Colton Dowell got a little – yeah, I mean, I think the running back situation too, like is Spears going to get more work, or is it like, yeah, that guy's good. You go ahead and take this week off.
I might sit him down.
Yeah, I might too, because, look, Hassan Haskins and Julius Chestnut, I don't think they're both going to be on this team. They're both special teams guys. They're both, I think they're similar in terms of as running backs, which to me, I'd break the tie there with going with Chestnut over Haskins.
Yeah.
You're taking all information into account, but maybe that's an interesting thing. And then like we've been talking about, the kickers. Hey, man, I don't care. I mean, we're already like gotten to the point where no one plays in these things or whatever. I'm all for the Titans just taking a knee on 3rd and 7 from the 30. And just trotting out one of those two guys, say, let's go. Because, again, it's like you're doing something weird to put them under pressure, which puts them under even more pressure. Agreed. You want as much pressure as you get. When Kaharski was here, he was like they should be doing like weird like torture stuff to them in the building. I'm like, dude, you're a little out there with that. But they need to manufacture some pressure.
Nashville SC hosting Lionel Messi. And
what are you doing in
Miami
there?
Tomorrow.
You loser.
All right, sorry.
Just throwing ping pong paddles at them as they're trying to kick the field goal. What are you doing? See if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Lionel Messi coming to town tomorrow. Nashville SC Leagues Cup final at Geodis Park. We had Ben Wright on earlier in the show. If you missed that conversation, you can check it out on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Really good information from Ben Wright. We had the conversation earlier. Like if Nashville SC is able to pull this off tomorrow, where does that rank in terms of the accomplishments of pro sports teams here in Nashville? It is a championship. Now, it's not an MLS Cup, and it's not a league championship, but it is some hardware that you would win tomorrow if you're Nashville SC. So what do you make of the opportunity that's in front of Nashville SC? And if they are able to win and take down Miami and Lionel Messi, what is the scope of that accomplishment as it relates to pro sports here in Nashville?
Well, I think it's a huge accomplishment. It is the first hardware in club history. I mean, look, so far the club history has been tremendous.
Yeah.
You're talking about 2 quarterfinals advances,
MVP,
3 playoffs, and 3. You got Defender of the Year twice. You got the MVP. So I mean, I think already getting to this and what they've done, beating two, like Ben Wright said earlier, this is a new tournament. But you're playing Liga MX. You're talking about some legendary, Mexican club teams that you played and beaten. So, you've already done a lot. I think this has been a fan base adder. You win it. I think it's more than a cherry on top. It means something. Someone on the text line earlier called me out for saying pro sports teams in this state don't have trophies. I'm like, I mean, they may have trophies.
The Preds won the Western.
The Preds won the Western. Yeah, they wouldn't touch it.
Titans won
does that count? They didn't touch it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but unless I'm missing something, I don't believe that there's
the
a
Grizzlies
championship.
won a title?
Yeah, not that I remember. they won the Grit and Grind trophy, but I don't know. Unless we're forgetting something. No, it would be a big deal, but I think it already is a big deal. The event itself is if they lose, if they lose 3-2 or whatever, and Messi scores 3, it's still it's a event that they earned that is going to be very memorable for all involved, and I think is still going to be very beneficial to Nashville SC.
I've already told you he's not scoring tomorrow. That's the called shot.
That's a called shot.
Messi is not scoring tomorrow against Nashville SC. They're shutting him down.
Yeah, that would be something. The dude who just paid $8,500 for a ticket is yelling at you like, "Shut up, Robby." I think a lot of people in that building would like to see him do something amazing, and Nashville SC still beat him.
I could live with that.
Yeah.
I would love to know, and I said this earlier, I would love to know how many people are doing what I'm doing tomorrow, which is Titans game, one screen, Nashville SC game, I guess on Apple TV on the other screen.
Nice. And Al, you got Allison. You guys just had Bath.
We just had Bath last night.
Yep, Bath night. That's a big one. That's a big milestone. So you got
right
Allison with her first Nashville SC game.
Yeah, her first exposure to Lionel Messi.
Yeah, and then to Mike Vrabel, not talking about injuries. I got a 13-year-old daughter's birthday party with I believe 17 people.
Oh God,
sleeping in the backyard.
17.
Yeah, we got this mega tent, but it's is this really going to be we have to put some kids in the pantry? I don't know.
Man, you got a heck of a weekend ahead of you.
Yeah.
High school football beginning tonight in Nolensville.
Yep, big one.
17.
It's a big one.
Teenagers running around the house.
I tell you what.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, man. Enjoy the time while you have it right now, Robby. Enjoy these moments. Like DJ Burnside said when he came in, enjoy the little things when they're little and they love you and they listen to you.
Yes, there is that. Congratulations to all the high school football athletes that are beginning tonight. We talked about it earlier in the show. Really fun time of the year here with high school football beginning here in the state. The talent has been awesome. There's something special about high school football, so I hope everybody's able to get out to a game tonight and check it out. And, Joe, I know you're going to enjoy that tonight in Nolensville.
Yeah, in fact, I'm already I'm texting with some buddies about maybe I might be grilling some brats up. So we'll see. They will not be past the expiration date. I can promise you that.
There is that.
And let's not forget Nolensville Little League World Series. By the way, it's just
Little League World
it's
Series,
an
2 o'clock
annual
today.
thing now.
Yep.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock today. Looking forward to that. That does it for us today here on Robby and Rexrode. The Chase McCabe Show up next. You're listening to 102.5, 106.3 The Game.